Sports Radio 560 WQAM Miami Fort Lauderdale presents The Neil Rogers Show. To talk to Neil, call 567-0560, toll free for Dade and Broward, or pound 560 on your cell phone.
No.
The opinions of Neil, his guests, callers, or anyone else on the show do not necessarily reflect those of WQAM, Beasley Reed Acquisitions, or the Beasley Broadcast Group. Now, Neil Rogers on Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Where is Nelson? Where is Nelson?
Boy, when I took the vow to be wed, I really made quite a mistake. She didn't love me, she only loved my money, she sure didn't love my face. My only babe, she wants the gold, got the cash and the gold. She says that I'm to blame. I really had it, ain't the cheating sex addict. She's out to rob my bank, robbing my bank. I know she's gonna get it all, she can bite me.
Yes.
I know she's gonna get it all, she can bite me. Yes, she can bite me. Just bite me.
All right.
She can bite me. All I know is that my terror can bite me.
10:02 at 560 WQM. Oh, boy, it's going to be an interesting 4 hours today. I can feel it. It's either that or the puke that's about to go all over the board here in a second. Man, I just got something that's starting. Get in my hotel room Friday night. They got the temperature turned down as low as it will go. It's got to be 100 below zero in that room. Freezing. I mean, absolutely, positively freezing, like the end of the world, like the ice prince and princess are coming to visit. Well, that was last night on the plane. Well, we'll save that story for later. And I don't know about you, but I'm one of those people. I like it cool when I sleep. I can't stand a hot room. Can't sleep worth a crap in a hot room. Like it cool, but just right. Like between, I would say, 71 and 74. Gets down to 69? Well, that's another story. I got real problems, baby. I wake up in the morning, get scratching in my throat, too. And that's all weekend long. I've been fighting it off, and the intestinal, that whole thing. I don't want to get too graphic, but, that queasy, sickening feeling like, yeah. God. And then you wind up sitting on a plane next to somebody that's got walking pneumonia. Well, we'll get into that, like I said, later on. I mean, I could spend the whole 4 hours talking about this John Henry crap, even though I wasn't here. I saw it. Now, did Hank make a mistake on that? Is that what that was? Because I wasn't here this weekend. What was the deal? Because I heard him on Friday, and when I left here, he said, I'm going to have a press conference at 4 and scoop this stupid press conference of John Henry tomorrow. And he did give the locations out, and I heard him talking about that. And was there a mistake in there somewhere? Because I just heard the worst thing going on about the Herald making a point of saying that Hank made a mistake and he got it wrong and yada yada and all this other crap. And the Humper don't make no mistakes. Okay? The Humper does not make no mistakes. And that was once in a great while, but even so, he showed up John Henry for what he is, a phony, a faker. And see, this is the way these things always materialize. I already told you this. They always materialize like this. Guys like this guy come along and they have the chutzpah to lay this stuff out. Okay, I'd like to have it over here, but if we could put it over here would be good. And they just plow right along as if it's a fait accompli. Like it's going to happen, and it would maybe be better over here. What do you think? Is it good over here? And are you guys going to give me any money for it? Can you come up with a good idea? As though we need it, and it's going to happen. Do we need it?
No.
Is it going to happen?
No.
Not with tax money, it ain't. Not in Broward, I'll tell you that, baby. I'll vote 6 million times if I have to. What?
Hank had it all right. The Marlins said he didn't.
Yeah.
But he did.
Oh, so Hank did have it right, and the Marlins tried to make him look bad, okay, because they're a bunch of petulant assholes who want you people to come out and subsidize their bullcrap Little League product out there and tell you, in about 2 or 3. You know what that reminds me of? How about if you open up a restaurant and you say, okay, now the previous owners here 5 years ago, the food was really sensational. Now, we can't afford to bring that kind of food and that kind of chef in here. So for the next 2 or 3 years, the food is really going to suck. It's going to be some of the worst you've ever had. But If you come in and subsidize us, we'll have enough money so that in about 3 or 4 years, then we can expand and bring in a great chef and bring in some of the best quality meats and stuff. Yeah. Any takers?
No.
Anybody coming in to buy that swill?
No.
No. I mean, let's face it, we're in a competitive world. You're selling a product, whether it's entertainment, whether it's walnuts, whatever it is, you're selling a product. And when you tell the public up front, the product's going to suck for 2 or 3 years, the product's going to say, oh, well, maybe if you're still around in 2 or 3 years, let us know when it's good. And maybe we'll come back. Maybe. Instead of this bullcrap about, well, it's really going to be bad, and if we can win, 60 games, it'll be great. If we can win 61 games, wow, stuff like that. And people are saying, yeah, good luck to you, okay? Good luck to you in your Little League bullcrap. And then, of course, like tonight, the big come on is, here's a guy we just traded away that's such a big attraction. Come out and see him. He's pitching. Not for us, against us, but nevertheless, he'll be there. That's their ad. That's the Marlins pitch, is come out and see Levon. Maybe we can bring in Elton John to sing. I think it costs too much money. Come out and see Levon. He's pitching for the other guys, but it'll be great. And, of course, we'll have that game right here on QAM, which we're losing our ass on that. By the way, should I do about an hour on Todd Dreck, too, before I get started with my Nelson stuff? Congratulations, Todd. Oh! So that's only the first of many. Very predictably, I know which accounts are going right down the old crapper. Of course, you can't tell the people, the powers that be here, because they know it all. They know a sharp sales hole when they see one. They know their Dreck. Believe you me. In fact, that's their expertise, is in the area of Dreck. So nice going, Todd. Congratulations to you. And I'm sure, you see, this is what happens when you don't bring us copy that makes any sense. This is what happens, boys and girls, when you can't do a job for the people that are paying a lot of money out there who would like to get some response. They're not buying advertising because they like my haircut, because they like my shoe size, because they think I smell nice. They're not doing these things. They're not buying the advertising because they like the salesman's personality, and in this case, that's for damn sure. They'd like to get some results. But don't confuse these people with that, because then you're starting trouble again. And, of course, we know that doesn't go over real big here at QAM, which is a great place to work. No mistake about that. The checks keep clearing every 2 weeks, but other than that. So before I go ballistic on the whole John Henry thing, I got a story after the break. I don't even know how to begin it. This is the most bizarre thing. I'm trying to think through all the years, and I've been alive for about 200 years. All the things that have happened in my life, this is the most bizarre, the most inexplicable, the most unacceptable, the most, I don't even know a word for it, experience. In fact, so bizarre that in my drive, in fact, Joe Costello was telling me that he's had this happen before. To me, after all the years I've been driving, this is the first time this has ever happened. We've all, driving late at night, you get sleepy, long distance drives, or whatever. You're coming in 3 a.m, it's real late, and you're fighting nodding off. We've all had that, almost falling asleep at the wheel. Hopefully not going over the edge. I've had that before. But I've never in my life had a drive where I've been on the road. I remember going from Miami International Airport to the 836, going to the Palmetto, and going north of the Palmetto to 125th, which is the I-75 exit, and going toward home on I-75. I remember the first car in the left-hand lane got out of the way. He was going pretty slow, and I remember passing him. The next thing I remember was pulling off onto Sunrise Boulevard in the Acres. Everything that happened between the beginning of I-75 and arriving it's like it never happened. I'm serious. I have never had that happen before in my life. I was so preoccupied, like with, what was this? What just happened here? With a bizarre experience, which I will relate in gory detail. Oh, I will. Because, there are some people in the world that are just not worth getting worried about. And there's other people that, I'll get into it. 9 minutes after 10 at 560 WQAM. Oh, there's Dick.
A Gallup poll. Nixon not only.
See, the movie's out now, and of course, this is great for the media. Now that we can celebrate the anniversary of Watergate, does anybody give a flying crap about frickin' Watergate? No, not anymore. We don't want to hear about it. We don't want to know from it. We don't want to hear G. Gordon Liddy, do we? No. But now they got something to hang their head on, and so now we're just surrounded by Dick. We got a movie named Dick. Rex Reed loves Dick, and here's Dick and Pat on our screen right now. There they go. There goes Dick. 10 past 10 at 560. He lived up to his name anyway.
Where is Nelson?
Ever wonder what happens to foreskins once they've been snipped? Well, once the clipping is done, those incredibly strong little helmet covers are sent to the foreskin factory, where they're made into some of today's most innovative products. Here, for instance, we have a wallet. And while it looks like an ordinary wallet, just give it a quick rub and you have a briefcase. But that's not all. Just rub it a little while longer and you have a suitcase. Our amazing technology allows us to make many fine foreskin products for everyday use. Look at this watch band. A quick rub and you have a new belt. Finally, our most amazing new product is this new car. Yes, foreskin technology has come this far. This new car fits four comfortably. But what if the in-laws are coming to visit? Just a quick rub down with warm baby oil and you've got a full-size van. For more information on our incredible foreskin products, call 1-800-COLD-TIP. Call within the next 10 minutes and receive a free pair of our one-size-fits-all running shoes.
All right. 10:15 at 560 WQM. So where do I start with this story? Maybe I should have Joe tell the story. No, actually, your story was, I don't know if it was better than mine, but yeah, I think it was. Joe Costello was telling me about his grandmother being on a plane. How long ago was this? Only 4 months ago? Wow. By the way, is he screwing up with the spots in there? Because I may have to change that letter around. So anyway, 4 months ago, Joe Costello's grandmother gets, who's what, about 110 years old? And probably from the old country? Like Syracuse? Well, at any rate, so she gets on a plane going somewhere. And she's sitting there. Now, was this in coach, I'm assuming, right? Not in first class, not you schleppers. So anyway, she's sitting in her seat in coach, and she's got her luggage up in the overhead, and she's all settled in. She's 150 years old, and she's a little nervous about flying anyway, as most old ladies are, and a lot of young people, too. A lot of, well, I don't want to say everybody who is afraid of flying is a pussy, but most of them are. So at any rate, she's all settled in, and there's this couple who, evidently they've got their seats laid. That's the price you pay when you get your seats laid. You can't always sit together. With your husband, your wife, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, all of the above, you sometimes get separated. Now, how long of a flight was this? Where were they going?
From Jersey to here.
Oh, from Jersey to here. Oh, well, no, that explains. You didn't tell me that part. If it was in Jersey, it explains where all those scumbags were on the plane. God. Man. So anyway, they go over and they ask her, I guess very nicely, where my wife is over there and we would like to sit together and would you mind moving so we can have the two seats together. And she said, I mind. She minds. She said, my stuff is already put away. I'm already a little bit nervous. I would prefer not to have, go through the whole thing all over again. I'd like to stay here. And the response is, you effing old bitch, no good, or, whatever else. And just absolutely heap every kind of disgusting, grotesque expletive on this poor old lady in the history of mankind just because she don't want to move. Why is it that people assume that every time you ask them to move that they'll say yes? I have seen times when people have said, no, I'm sitting here because I want the window seat, and I got the seat a million years in advance and I paid money for it and I want to sit here. I mean, so maybe they're a little, whatever, but nevertheless, that's their prerogative. You pay something, you got a right to sit there. And now not only does the husband and wife attack poor Joe's grandma, but now the people sitting around there who've witnessed this little confrontation, now the rest of the flight, you miserable old bitch, and whatever else they were saying, which we can't repeat on the air, you. Yeah. How do you like that? As in, see you next time. Who's that on the bat line? Hello?
George Algosi, good morning.
George ain't here. Why don't you get with it? George is on vacation. He's in North Carolina with the other Goy. Why don't you get with it? What do you want? What do you want?
I wanted to say hello.
What do you want? Something I want to tell you. I'm so glad you called. I had a spy report on your appearance on Conan O'Brien.
I was good.
Yeah, you were good. I hear that they shined you on the website. Here's a man who gets down on his hands and knees for a no-talent putz like Conan O'Brien and gets his tongue out and is doing things that we can't even say, it can't even think of, much less say, and then he gets shined on his website, which is the only reason you went on there, let's face it.
The only reason, hey, listen, I did everything to him that you do in your private life, but I did it in public.
Oh, why don't you admit already that you were the one that keeps giving me oral sex all the time? Why don't you admit that? It's the only thing that keeps you alive. Yeah.
And you're very good. Yeah. I like you.
Pint of fish food is all Al needs.
Hey, did you like the ad? Did you like the ad, though, Neil?
Yeah, the color ad was great, but you're changing the subject. Let me ask you, were you on with Howard yet, sucking his ass?
Yes, on the 20th. But I'm doing it 8 in the morning. I'm not even competing with you.
Listen, I don't have to worry about competing with me. We're doing just fine, okay? In our own fumbling around way, we're doing just fine.
Hey, I suck up to you even better than Howard and Conan. Cut it out. I've been sucking up to you for 20 years.
But I do have a smaller penis, you'd have to admit that.
But it doesn't even tire me out. I don't even know you're in.
Like a button.
Did you see the credit? Neil, did you see the credit line I gave you?
On what?
On the second ad. We're based on Neil Rogers.
No, I didn't see that. It's on the ad.
It's in the second ad. I give you credit.
No one ever gives you. On the wall. I can't.
No one ever gives you credit. I gave you credit.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But you notice how he has changed the subject. So I guess you're not going to get any response from Conan O'Brien.
I'm a male hustler. I admit it.
How did you and Howard hit it off?
I
don't want to hear about you suck this. I don't want to hear all the details.
I was a bottom man.
Well, that's nothing new.
He had wonderful grace. It was wonderful. I loved it.
Yeah.
But no, I gave you credit. Please look it up because no one ever gives you credit. They steal from you. At least I said based on your courage.
Changing the subject. So I guess maybe your whoring days are over. Is that what you're trying to say?
No, the bed is refined.
Really?
I'm
look at that. It says on the bottom of the ad. Like I said, I love that Al Goldstein. It says on the bottom of the full-color ad in the August 9 issue of Screw Magazine,
read it.
Thanks to Neil Rogers, who gave me the balls to run this satire, Al Goldstein. Well, there you go. That's sweet. That's really sweet.
Did I stuff
and the next one, no fish food necessary, I guess, huh?
Okay. I didn't want you to go on the air. I just wanted to say hello, let you know I'm in town if you want to abuse me.
Yeah. I don't want to.
When you coming to Holland next? Neil.
What?
When to Holland next?
Not too far in the distant future, in a couple of weeks.
Use the apartment, please.
Okay, I will.
Love you, Neil.
I'm going to leave all kinds of dreck all over the place. I'm going to smear fish food on the walls and on your mattress all over the place.
Here's the last words, and I swallow.
Okay.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Oh, my God, look at that. He actually gave me a little credit in the bottom of this ad. That's great. And, of course, I am the one that gave him the balls. But you notice during that entire conversation, he never answered the question. Only because he put my name on the bottom of this ad. See, I'm easy, too. I'm a sellout. Just like George, that sellout. You know, one thing about George, now that he's on vacation, let's rip him for a while, you know? No, seriously, I mean, what has happened to him lately? I noticed that he's got a new deal now. Ever since George started filling in me when I go on vacation, he's got a whole new deal now. Like this show is secondary. It's the Christian Science reading room in there while I'm on here. He's either reading Screw Magazine or he was reading New Times or CityLink last week, and he's kind of like sitting off to the side. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you follow my drift? In other words, instead of even like looking in here pretending he's paying attention to what I'm talking about, he's like sitting off to the side, and I see green lines flashing, and George is now, he's in his own little world in there, kind of. And he's also got this new campaign where he's busy with the phone company. He spends more time dealing with the phone company and that yellow legal pad of his than he does answering the calls for the show. You know what I'm talking about? And the interesting part is most of the calls that he's tracing and reporting, getting all upset, aren't calls that have to do with me. They're calls from people attacking him. Yeah, while I'm doing the show. I'm not talking about when he's filling in. I'm talking about while I'm doing the show. And if somebody, you little sellout, you little spick, right away, he's on the star 57, star 69, he's on the phone with Southern Bell Security, he's got the little yellow legal pad out, he's going apeshot. Yeah, and you know it's true. You see it every day. I got news for you. I could sit in here and just make no noise at all. I could make no sound at all for 3-4 minutes, and he wouldn't notice, because he's got the monitor down anyway, because he's busy. Hey, I got one over here, the guy called me a spick, you know, whatever. Yeah, you know it's true. Because he's become a celebrity now, created another monster. He's a monster in a goddamn fill-in world, whatever the hell world he's in. I mean, don't get me wrong, we like George, not as much as we used to. He's great, but nevertheless, he needs to be brought back to reality a little bit. This vacation came at a very good time for him. I hope he clears out his brains up there in North Carolina. Maybe he and Mamacita will have a little reunion, a little meeting of the minds, and maybe she'll slap the taste out of his mouth and bring him back to reality a little bit. So anyway, getting back to Nelson. Oh, here's somebody on a payphone in Coral Springs. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how are you?
Pretty good, sir.
Listen at what you were saying about your little loss of time episode on the expressway there.
Yeah.
And I just got to say, I can totally relate with that. I had a similar experience a few years ago when I was working late at night. And it's the most absurd, the most scary feeling you ever have when you realize what has just happened.
I mean, I'm not exaggerating. I've been driving for 40 years, and I've never had that happen, even for like a block. I mean, sometimes you're not paying that much attention, but at least you have some kind of subconscious awareness of going from point A to point B.
Yeah,
but in this case, I remember passing that one car just at the beginning of I-75, and the next thing you know, I'm pulling out, I'm stopping at the stop sign where 75 ends there at the Sunrise exit onto Sunrise Boulevard,
right.
And I'm thinking to myself, how did I just get here?
Now, do you remember closing your eyes at all?
No.
Okay, because I was out near you.
Yeah.
And my experience happened, I was working nights about 4 years ago. And I had just gotten in, and the guy that was supposed to come in after me didn't come in. So they woke me up at 2 in the morning to go to Pompano. And I remember driving down 595. I remember getting on I-95. I remember looking up at the sign of Broward Boulevard, half mile.
Right.
And I was in the far left lane, and my eyes were so heavy, I said, okay, I'm going to close it just for a second. Just for 1 second.
Yeah.
The stupidest thing I ever did. I opened my eyes. There's a sign, Atlantic Boulevard, 1 mile. I'm in the right lane.
Well, what does that mean?
I have no idea. I must have slept the entire time.
Well, how did you not crash? That's not possible.
I have no idea, Neil. All I know is I have no idea what happened between Atlantic Boulevard and Broward. I had no recollection of it. Instantly, as soon as I realized what had happened, I was awake. I was shocked. It was just the most absurd feeling I've ever had.
Well, I'm glad we both survived it.
I'm glad you're here.
Okay, thanks.
Bye, Neil.
Don't do it again. Not a good idea, okay? I don't know maybe there's a name for that. Maybe the shrinks have got some kind of a name for that. Driving while under the influence of psychosis. I have no idea what that's all about, but very, very scary experience. Almost as scary as, I'll get into it. I'm so good at this, man. I'm so good at taking something and just getting a little tease out there at the beginning and then milking it. Even Tom Green can't milk it as good as I can. Although he does take it better in the puss.
How young is too young?
Well, you can tell by the way I use my voice. I'm different than those other boys. See, I'm in this way since I was born, and I'm hung just right, just never gone. Won't you try to understand what you call a girly man? I suspect I might be gay, cause I prefer to go the other way. Rather disbelieve it, I'm right in the feet, cause I'm a feminine guy. Feminine guy. I'm a little twisted and I am less twisted. I'm a feminine guy. Feminine guy. Most people love me, but some wanna club me. I'm a feminine guy. Feminine guy. Ha, 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 ha. Feminine guy. Feminine guy. Ha, 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 ha. Feminine guy.
10:32 at 560 WQM. Now, would I give a shout-out to who? Mr. Jameson? Is that what you'd be saying? Mr. Jameson's a good guy. Not related to Carl Jameson of harness racing fame, is he by any chance?
No.
Canadian, maybe?
No.
Jody Jameson?
No.
No. But at any rate, let's shout it out. Also want to give a shout-out to my good friend, but I'll do it later. Don't let me forget, in the 1 o'clock hour, my Sun Sentinel lady who does the papers. She sells them on the corner of Nob Hill and 595, Snob Hill, and she's a wonderful lady. And I saw her this morning, and there are some nice people out there. I have to keep reminding myself, not everybody down here is crazy, okay? Not everybody down here is eccentric. Not everybody down here is paranoid and uptight and bizarre, But this experience I had last night, seriously, I don't think I'll ever be able to put it in perspective, if you follow what I'm saying. It's just so bizarre. Even Rod Serling, even Alfred Hitchcock wouldn't find the words to explain it, to be able to put and of course, does it really mean much?
No.
It doesn't amount to a hill of beans. It doesn't amount to a pile of crap on your backyard thing, It doesn't. By the way, it's interesting, you fakers at the Sun Sentinel, they're writing about Arlington, Texas, and their $134 million share of their $191 million stadium, and the Brewers' $295 million stadium. Oh, the only problem is that here we're talking about a $400 million stadium.
God.
Right. $400 million, of which we only have to come up with 80% for this good guy. That's all. And I'm going to tell you something, when this thing gets on a ballot, and it will, you think the penny sales tax took a big stump. You ain't seen nothing yet, baby. You ain't seen nothing yet. That's right. Oh, you think 68-32 wasn't too close. How about 98-2? Sounds interesting to me. That's only if John Henry and the people from the Sun Sentinel and the Herald vote a bunch of times. Because they're the only ones who seem to be in favor of it. Plus a couple of lunkhead sports nerds that call this station. $400 million to build a billionaire. And, well, he'll build it himself, but of course it won't be very big. It won't be very big, yeah. And it won't be very good, and we can't make very much money, and so you will have a crappy team. More blackmail by billionaire owners. Build it for me and do it this way and where I want, or et cetera, and so on. So anyway, getting back to my story. I could sit here and do the whole 4 hours on this John Henry crap because the answer is no, forget it. Hank had a great call on Friday. At least I was driving to the airport. He had a guy. All these people are calling in. Hank is making the announcement of the 6 different proposed sites where John Henry is saying, well, how about here? Well, how about over there? And Hank gets the story right as opposed to what the Herald said. And after I hear all these people sucking around, well, I think this one's pretty good and that one's good. And the guy calls in, I'll tell you the best place for the Marlins to move, Washington, D.C. Oh! And I was high-fiving myself and the caller in the car. I was playing grab-ass with myself in the car. I was so excited to hear that. Nice going, sir, whoever you are. We'll pack him a goddamn sandwich. We'll have Chuck right over on the corner here. He's close to the stadium. We'll have Chuck pack him a whole bunch of sandwiches. They can put him on the bus as they head up to D.C. They got a lot of spare money up there, you know. They got no crime. They got good education. They got no poverty. Yeah. Send them to D.C. See how well they do up there. Of course, probably have to have several more schmoes on the team, but that's okay. So anyway, getting back to my story. Well, let me take some calls first. Here's Plantation. Hello?
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Neil, hi. You're right on the money with the John Henry situation.
What a maniac.
Right on the money. I mean, you know, he sounds like he's, you know, he needs Tammy Faye to help him out.
Uh-huh.
You know, soliciting.
Maybe Jim Baker and Tammy Faye and Paul and Jen Crotch, they got some mishpacha. We'll get them all together.
That's what he needs. Oh, what a weak attempt to solicit money, and it seemed like it was in conjunction with the Sun Sentinel also.
Right. Oh, yeah, the Sun Sentinel. I mean, they already had an editorial last week, and now that the horse is out of the barn, the cat's out of the bag, oh, bring the ballpark to Broward, a new home for the Marlins. And I love the one paragraph in here this morning. It says, this presents Broward County with a tremendous opportunity and a challenge to match. What an opportunity to rape the public again for $400 million. Wow, or at least 80% of it. $320 million sounds like to me.
And I think we're those weak-minded people that give money to the church.
Yeah. Well, guess what? You know what?
No.
These buttons are still working just like they did in the last election.
No.
They're still working real good.
Also, you know, it just... I lost it. Okay.
That's okay. That's okay. Just keep that one word in mind. You'll be all right. Have a great day, pal.
Okay.
He lost it. That's all right. By the way, the phone is screwed up this morning. The phones all sound like crap. It's not JP's fault. It's not my fault. If our program director would stop hyperventilating in there and just put it away back in his pants and relax. It's just the phone is a piece of crap. It's our, you know, J.C. Penney, Neisner's cheapy crap that we got in here, and we're not going to get excited about it. We're doing the best we can, okay? It's a crappy phone. It sucks. It blows. It's garbage. KPX wouldn't use this phone on the air. They'd be embarrassed. They would throw it in the toilet before they would put a call on the air with this. They wouldn't even call home, much less off the air on this phone, much less put it on the air. That's how bad it is. Here's Hollywood. Hello.
Hi, Neil.
Yes, sir.
What's going on? Hey, did you get your tickets yet?
Tickets for what?
For The Life of Riley. Charles Nelson Riley reveals all 4 shows only?
No, thanks.
Yeah, no, thanks.
By the way, speaking of Charles Nelson Riley, let me ask you this. Sir?
Yes.
Where is Nelson?
Hey, Neil, did you get the Thunderclap Newman CD I sent you?
Yes, thank you very much.
Okay.
Appreciate it very much.
All right, take it easy.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Okay, Charles Nelson Riley. Anybody going to see her?
No.
No, we'll pass. Okay, let's take the Fort Lauderdale thing, do the break, and then I'll get into my story uninterrupted. That'll only take about 2 hours. Here's Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Hey, for the first time ever, when I read the Sunday paper yesterday,
yes,
my stomach actually felt queasy, and the first thing I looked to was the mailbag to see what other people were writing, because I'm so sick over this thing.
I haven't looked at that yet because my plane didn't get back till like midnight almost last night, so I haven't
Let
seen
me ask you something. The only thing that I really worry about is, I mean, this comes to a vote, you know they'll get crushed. But what do you think of the chances after the public votes and crushes it that they'll just go ahead and do it anyway? That's what worries me.
They damn well better not if they want to get reelected, any of them.
But I don't think they care. See, they strike a deal behind closed doors. Everybody gets paid off. We get raped.
No, I don't think so. I think if it's an overwhelming no vote, nobody would have the cojones to pull that. Not unless Alex Penis moves to Broward, maybe.
So
or maybe Dade County at the last second, since 2 of the proposed 6 sites are in Dade. Maybe at the last second, all of a sudden the Herald will kick in and come up with some bogus thing, like another 3 penny sales tax for it.
what they'll do is on Indeed, they'll just put it on the ballot, like, vote no if you mean yes, and vote yes if you mean no, and then switch it back on.
Oh, no, what they'll put on the ballot is no matter which way you vote, we assume you mean yes.
I got one question for John Henry.
All right. Excellent. Save that. Yeah, that's that was beautiful. I love it. Well, he already said that, you know.
Goddamn fucking idiot.
Yeah, that's what he said. Oh, I know what he said. Now, what is that under, by the way? Is it under JH? Nah, damn it. Now I got to look and look and look. What is that damn John Henry? Oh, I know what it's under.
I must be crazy.
You got it. You are. You're crazy and you're nuts, John Henry. Never stole a freight train like I did when I was a little kid. And boy, that must be it. You know what? I finally got it. What happened on that with that plane deal? With that freight train, I finally admitted to stealing last week. I should never let that out in the air, you know?
Johnny Dykes, that asshole.
I'm sitting home watching TV, enjoying the peace and quiet I really need. But I know that it won't last forever. The doorbell has to ring. Another Jehovah's Witness that thinks they want to save me. Thinks they want to save me. After I tie a yellow ribbon round your neck today, I will drag your ass and my porch away. If you still want to visit after I drag your ass away, I'll get on a bus, I'll come to your house and I'll knock till I'm blue in the face. So don't you come up knocking, 'cause I'll be waiting behind my old oak tree.
Okay, it's 10:44 at 560 WQM. So before we get to my story, Peter Leonard from our sales department, by the way, who's one of the he looks like a bullfrog in heat on a bad day with bad sunburn. Not a bad guy, but very strange, even by sales hole standards, a very, very, very strange guy. And one thing I'm discovering about him is that he schmoozes with everybody in the radio business. See, I'm one of those people that not only doesn't want to, I go out of my way not to schmooze with most of the people in the radio business, and I'm very suspect of anybody who does. So no matter what name it is, if it's Bob Green and Cheryl over at the old IOD over at Cox Broadcasting, if it's anybody, I mean, you pick a name. Oh, yeah, and he's got a nickname. You know, hey, buddy, hey, pally, you know, that stuff for everybody. So the business we had with Castronova, I don't want to go back into that again because I don't want to give him any more publicity since we got a 10-8 and men, he's got a 5-8, who needs it? But it's really interesting that not only does he hang out with all these people, but the people that do schmooze with the other radio people, they all stab each other in the back every chance they get. He was the first one that called in here with glee on Friday during that whole big song and dance that was going on, that contrived controversy that Castronova was trying to siphon off some of our audience. He was the first one that called in here to report gleefully that Castronova tried to use him to siphon his way to Greg Reed and get a job, which was confirmed by Greg, by the way, at 2 o'clock when I got off the air, and also by our program director, Bluff Lindsay. Yeah. How do you like that? That Castronova was over here sucking heavy duty, even heavier duty than Al Goldstein, which is saying a lot, for a job. So if everything is so great over there at Queer Channel, you have to wonder. But the real point is, how come if I mentioned that to Peter Leonard this morning? Oh yeah, Polly. Hey, Polly. Yeah, not Paul. Polly. Everybody's got a nickname for everybody. He's the buddy of everybody in the business. Right off the bat, axe murderer. That's the thing to keep in mind. As soon as you hear that, axe murderer in waiting. Not as dangerous as Roy, because he's got a buddy who wields a much meaner axe. Just ask him; he'll tell you. Okay, so anyway, getting back to my story. Here's Miramar. Hello.
No.
Yes, sir.
How are you today?
Okay.
Good.
Where is Selfie?
Huh?
What is it?
What was that?
Boy, this phone is deadly today. Do you hear how bad this sounds?
Yeah, it's crappy.
Awful.
Thursday, on my way to Vegas.
Yeah.
Staying at the new Venetian.
Great.
Looking forward to it.
Somebody called last week, I think on Friday, and said the Venetian was, they had all kinds of problems, the rooms and all. Yeah, but don't pay any attention to those
that's
people.
That's pretty typical when something opens up anyways.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, you're always going to have the glitches in there. You know?
Right.
But, no, I'm just looking forward to it. And just wanted to let you know. Be there for 8 days.
Great. Oh, man, can you imagine what you can lose in 8 days?
Oh, believe me, I've been there before, I know.
Take all your credit cards, your checkbook, your whatever you got, man.
I leave them home just because of that.
Your Seiko watch, your somebody else's Rolex.
Huh?
I said, have a great time.
All right, bye.
Okay. There's a guy going to Vegas to have a good time. Well, he sure ain't going to have one here, I'll tell you that. Oh, this experience. I'm still trying to try in my own mind to find a way to stage this, to phrase it, to describe it. And by the way, good morning to my good friend Eric out there. I think his last name was Cohen, who I met at the Pearson International Airport in Toronto last night. We're just coming back from London from medical school. Good guy, Eric. He kind of witnessed, maybe not witnessed, but he was like an observer, and I explained to him this whole situation, which was very, very bizarre, and even got more bizarre and much, much worse and more uncomfortable on the plane. Me being the axe-murderer and dangerous pervert that I am, evidently. Here's Miami. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, what's going on, Neil?
How you doing, sir?
Alrighty. Remember the topic you always want to know about? You know, I got a little spy report on
What is that?
On the cops there, with the little prostitution thing going on. The cops are off the hook.
Meaning what?
Meaning, well, you know, whatever went on and everything, they're keeping it a secret. Hush, hush.
Yeah. And? Is that a bulletin?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Thanks for the bulletin. There you go.
Oh!
You just heard it here first on QAM. From some 12-year-old punk that wouldn't know a prostitute if she got on her knees, okay? That's right. He wouldn't know a hooker if she stuck one in his...
rectum.
Right. Thank you very much, pal. And say hi to your boyfriend. Here's a mobile in Hollywood. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Good morning, sir. Just coincidence. I happen to be work for the Finest and Blue of the city of Miami.
Yes, sir.
Believe you me, there is a list that will come out within the next month.
Yeah.
And I do personally know several of these guys that are crapping in their pants, my friend.
Where's the list?
Just like it is going to happen. They haven't swept it under the rug just yet.
But they're sure. I'll tell you one thing. The media sure aren't pursuing this very vigorously for whatever reason.
Internal affairs is heavy at work. Trust me.
Are they good? Great news. Thank you, sir.
What, Neil?
Yeah.
One more thing. I happened to be at the scrimmage on Saturday, not by choice, but I was working.
Yeah.
And this is honest to God. Guess who was serving at the concession stands? Serving beer.
Who was
Dave Game.
Dave Game was serving beer?
I hope to get some confirmation on this.
Was he disguised as a beer keg?
He is the Orange Bowl. Trust me. He's got an ass the size of that bowl, man.
Yeah.
He is a big boy. What if isn't he in the media anymore?
No. There just weren't enough widescreen TVs to get him on camera
anymore. He was serving hot dogs and beer, man. It was funny as
Unbelievable.
All right, Neil, you take care.
Thanks
guys.
a lot. That's almost as funny as running into out there at the Dolphin Camp, too. That's what JP was telling me. A man with no personality whatsoever. But you don't need no letter from him. What? Forget it. Who the hell needs... who needs that? Jesus Christ. Okay, so we finally got rid of those pain-in-the-ass calls. I got my faxes up to date. Now can I finally, after almost an hour, embark on this bizarre story? Can I do it? Thank you. So, 2.5 years ago. And, of course, I make all these trips. I go to Europe 5 times a year. I go to a lot of trips on the weekend, Vegas, Toronto a lot, because it's a short flight, and I get the hell out of here. So a couple of years ago, I'm in the airport in Miami, and every time I would go up, I would see the same person, young guy, I'd say about 25, 26, in the airport in the waiting area for the same flight, who seemed to be going on that flight every single week, and then coming back on Sunday night on the same flight. I never thought anything of it and saw him a lot. We never spoke, never had any idea who knew who I was or whatever, and there was no conversation, which is fine. See, one thing about me, if people approach me like this guy Eric, who just came back, he was coming to Toronto from London and to Miami last night after 4 months in London medical school. He came up to me, hey, are you Neil Rogers? Yes, very friendly guy, had a good conversation, half an hour sitting there killing time, no problem. Good guy. But I don't assume, number one, that people know who I am, because that's very arrogant to begin with. And number two, there are a lot of people who like me, but there are also a lot of people who hate me like poison. You know, maybe not as many, but there are some. It's like when I go into Publix. Every time I go into Publix, there are people, hey, Neil, how you doing? And then there are people who, like, look at you. You can see them stopping, and they look at you, and you're not really sure. They know who you are, they like you, but they're too much of a pussy to say anything, or they know who you are, and they hate you like poison, which is possible. Fine. Doesn't faze me in the least, okay? Couldn't care less. I don't live my life based on what other people think. I don't give a crap. Okay? Great. So anyway, to make a long story short, after all of this time, like 2 years, whatever, Tommy, that hair has got it. That is just, I'm distraught. Distraught. You look like a throwback to, he looks like he just came out of a Egyptian tomb or something. Doesn't he? Man, seriously, you look like a mummy.
I like when you call me Jesus this morning.
He looks like, get the sandals in here, okay? Tommy has found Jesus in the mirror. That's right. You think Jesus or the Virgin Mary on a Totino's pizza is exciting. Tommy has found Jesus in the frickin' mirror. Oh, that's just, it'll take me a while to get used to it. But anyway. So anyway, about 3 weeks ago, this is an amazing story. 3 weeks ago, here's the same guys on a plane going to Toronto. I'm on the same plane. He's sitting back in coach. I'm in first class, of course, because I pay the full fare. Evidently, he gets upgrades because he flies a lot on this particular airline, which will go unmentioned. You can only assume. So coming back, I see him in the airport in Toronto, and he's going to the counter, and obviously he's trying to get an upgrade, and he goes back to sit down. I walk, and we're getting ready to board the plane. I walked over and said, "You get the bumped up?" And he said, "Nah, not this time." And as we're walking to get on the plane, we're starting a conversation for the first time in whatever this has been, 2-3 years. Okay, seems like a reasonable guy, good guy. He lives works here, he's from Toronto. Okay, good guy, I thought. So on a plane coming back, we get to Miami, and as we are coming back through the jetway, another conversation ensues. All right. And we start talking, and comes to find out he's a big Maple Leaf fan, and bop, beep, 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 and this and that, and flies the same airline, been doing it. And, it's like 7 minutes from the jetway all the way to the parking area. Are you following this? So we finally get to the, and I'm mentioning the fact that, we come up to Toronto several times a year, go to a few hockey games. My good friend Jeff Rimmer, my good close personal friend Jeff Rimmer, in exchange for buying him a lot of very expensive meals, gets us tickets at like they used to be at Maple Leaf Gardens and now they are Canada Center. And maybe since he's in Toronto on the weekend, maybe he would like to go to some of the games he can't get tickets to. Rimmer would be glad to call in and leave, whatever his name is. Okay? Oh, great, that's great. And there's this very friendly conversation going on for like 7 or 8 to 10 minutes, whatever the walk is from there, that one point, to where you go off on your own way to get your car. And so we stop at that point where he's going his way and I'm going my way. And I said, "Oh, by the way, what's your name?" He looks at me and he shakes my hand and says, "Nelson." Okay, as in...
Where is Nelson?
Okay. And I thought, wow, that's pretty freaky because, as most people know, that's my real first name too, which I told him, wow. So I said, "By the way, you going up next week?" "Yeah, I'll be there." I said, "Okay, we can talk about the hockey tickets, about the Leafs, whatever. I'll see you. Have a great week." That's it. That's the end of the conversation. I go to my car. That's the end of that. Now, in the interim, I did talk to somebody from the airline who I happen to know. I know a lot of people in there, to try to arrange, since he tells me he's flying on a plane. I just stop and think of this with anybody you would know, to try to put in a little thing to get him bumped up, to make sure that instead of sitting in coach, he does get bumped up. That's all. Harmless conversation, nothing sinister, not a big deal. Nobody is stalking Nelson, not a big song and a dance, okay? Get on a plane that week. Is he there?
No.
No. Come back Sunday night. Is he on there?
No.
Then last weekend, the weekend that was cut short because of that god-awful Carabana Festival in Toronto, which I came back Sunday morning, was he on that plane going up?
No.
Was he coming back? Of course, I came Sunday morning. Was he on that plane?
No.
Oh, okay. So I'm beginning to feel like maybe he's just vanished into thin air, whatever. So last night I'm at the airport sitting, and of course there's a delay. You know how these delays go. All of a sudden lately up there, delays and more delays. The incoming plane is late. And a crowd is getting bigger and bigger, people waiting for the plane. And this guy comes over to me. "I'm Eric so-and-so. Are you Neil Rogers?" "Yeah." And he tells me a story. He just came back from London and this and that and the other. And we talk for like 30 or 40 minutes, which is great. It kills a lot of good time because the plane is later in hell. The plane isn't even there yet. Now I'm sitting there and I look off where they call it the Maple Leaf Lounge, the lounge area is, and I see here Nelson comes out with some young guy. Yeah, Chinese guy, some young guy. And they're walking together. And I thought, oh, geez, this is going to be a great excuse because Eric's a good guy, but a little bit at this point, we're talked out. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing left to say to Eric. Good guy, you're a good guy, Eric, but a little, I said, "Oh, gee, I see a friend of mine over there. I got to shake his hand. Good to see you. Have a great trip." And I go over now. I want you to envision this. I think I better do the break at this point because I can't. No, seriously. No, I've got to. Because once I get into this description, I must do it vividly and make you understand the whole significance. Not that it's greatly significant, not that it's going to change my life in any way, shape, or form, but it was just the most bizarre, the most inexplicable experience of my whole life. Almost, and it's got to be a time with that, with the thing on the highway, driving and not remembering. Seriously, my mind has got to be turning to jello. You know what I mean?
Where is Nelson?
Yeah. 10:58 at 560. Oh, it's a great story, it really is. One of those you don't know whether to laugh or cry.
Listen to the sound of John falling flame, auguring into the sea. You think a multi-millionaire like JFK could afford a better plane. If JFK had more time flying, he would have known a Piper Cub, the cheapest crappy plane that blows. A gun aimed at my head's about the only way I would go. Now Ted's the only one that's left alive today from what they call the Kennedy curse. If Dorothy Kilgallen was alive, she'd say, cheer up, it's only gonna get worse.
Yes.
Listen to the sound of John falling flame. But it's flatter, oh hey, listen to the sound of John falling flame. But it's flatter.
Okay, Terminal 3 at 560 WQM. We got Hank Goldberg, who always gets it right, baby. No matter what the Herald says, Hank will be at Shula's today. And then we got Talking Baseball with Donnie B. We got the San Francisco, it's the overhead. That's why the phone is all screwed up. The overhead level is like really low. Is it set low in there or not? It's okay? Because this phone system today sounds like real crap. Anyway, Talking Baseball with Donnie B at 6:30. It's the Giants at the Marlins, baby. Levon is back. Any interest?
No.
He's pitching for them, not for us.
No.
Any interest at all?
No.
Okay, thank you. So anyway, getting back to my story, which there is an ending to it. It's very bizarre. Now keep in mind, this guy knows who I am because during this great conversation, this very friendly conversation, which primarily he initiated, walking from the jetway to the parking thing 3 weeks ago, he tells me he had seen the TV show, beep, beep, et cetera, and so on. Okay, great. So when somebody knows who you are, which means automatically they're not put off by the fact that you're a or you're a whatever it might be, they're not terrified. Great. So now I have left Eric standing there saying, oh, I see a friend of mine over there. I'm going to go say hello. Have a great trip, okay? I walk around. All of these people are sitting in the waiting area, about 150, 180 people waiting to get on this plane, which is finally getting there maybe. And here's Nelson standing there with this Chinese guy, kind of almost up against the wall. I get to within, from where I am to JP now, about, 7, 8 feet away, and make eye contact, and he looks at me in the eyeball, like a pinball machine. The eyes start like that, flashing. Kind of like, yeah. And I walked up and I said, gee, I thought you disappeared from the face of the earth. And he said, almost. And he turns back to his friend and and he's blowing his nose. He's got a heavy cold, pneumonia, whatever he's got. But in the meantime, they're having a great conversation. I'm standing there. Like, I'm just standing there, like leaning on the handle of my suitcase, ready to fall down on the floor. Now, all of a sudden, I'm kind of like backing up, and I realize on the wall in the airports, they have those big, ads, those murals with fly for $99 from here to the lake or whatever. And I realize that I'm backing into it, and I'm almost inside of it. You know what I'm saying? In other words, it's like that whole thing about if you could find a hole in the ground, would you crawl into it? Well, if you could find one of these things on the wall, would you back into it and kind of disappear, like they do with the visual effects in movies or on TV, where somebody backs into a thing that just goes through it, vanishes, do a vanishing routine. And I thought, this is peculiar, strange, really strange. So now I see my good new friend Eric, who at least acknowledges my existence. He's standing up there by the counter. So I wander up there because they're going to start boarding in a few minutes anyway. The plane has arrived finally. They got all those pain-in-the-ass passengers off. They're going to be boarding in a few minutes. And there's Eric up there. And I'm describing to him what just happened. I said, it's some of the strangest people in South Florida. Here's somebody that was on his plane for 2.5, 3 years, every week, never had a word conversation, had a conversation 3 weeks ago for 7 or 8 minutes in the airport, like my long-lost best friend. Hey, want to get you some Maple Leaf tickets, which are hard to get and very expensive. Every game is a sellout. Don't even know the guy's last name. How do you get somebody tickets when you don't know somebody's last name? They have no way to communicate with you. You want to give them your phone number. No sinister motive. Here, I want to do something nice for you just because I'm that kind of a guy and you're a big Leafs fan. Seem like a guy, you know? Oh, you know. So I'm telling Eric this, and now we board the plane. As usual, since I'm in first class, and I always do this 99% of the time because I know the boarding process. I'm the first one on and the first one off, as close to it as possible. So I go and I sit down in my seat, C3D, and now come the other people coming on the plane. And here comes Nelson with his Chinese friend, and they come on, and the Chinese guy goes back. He's obviously sitting in coach. And Nelson comes back to where I'm sitting and stands there and looks at the other seat, sniffling and sneezing, and, you know, he's sitting there in 3F next to me. 3F is in freaky. So I get up and and he's sitting there. I said, gee, you're going to give me pneumonia now, huh? And he sits down, and at that point he picks up the Toronto newspapers and buries his head in it and puts on the headphones and is blowing his nose. And that was basically, I would say, the end of the conversation. Yeah.
How long's the flight?
2 hours and 40 minutes once you get in the air. I'd say about 3.5 hours on the plane, 3:20 on the plane, over 3 hours. Right. That was pretty much, although he went. Now, the interesting part of it is he's got his nose buried in the newspaper. The only problem is it's 8:15 at night, so it's dark outside, or it's getting dark, and his light isn't on. So I reach up and hit the light, turn his light on. He looks over, thank you. You know, it really didn't, it was a moot point. It didn't make any difference whether the light was on. Are you following now? Are you getting the picture of this? So now I'm sitting there, I'm becoming a combination, yeah, like that. Agitated, perplexed, like, okay, was it the deodorant, okay? I sniffed under each arm, both were fine. Is it the cologne? Is it the odor of poo-poo that may be a little, whatever it is, yeah? What could it possibly be that has changed my great new friend, Maple Leaf fan, great guy, Toronto guy, loves the city, lives there. What has turned him around, so to speak, so dramatically in the 3 short weeks? Hates me like poison, and here I am, a captive audience for 3.5 hours sitting on this freaking plane. So we get to about 20 minutes away from landing, and he's kind of like nodded off, snoozing. And I reach into my wallet, because one thing you're not going to do is you're not going to get into an argument with somebody on a plane in the air. You know what I'm saying? I mean, say what you will, think what you will of what I did, but you're not going to get into an argument with anybody on a plane if you're smart. Not a good idea. So I reached into my wallet and I pulled out one of my business cards. And on the back of it I wrote, whatever it was, it must have been very bad, very evil, very sinister, whatever. I put about 10 question marks after it, and then I put, have a great life anyway, and I signed it Neil, and in parentheses, Nelson. And I shoved it onto his tray, under his, where he was pretending to be asleep. Sure enough, about 10 minutes later, as I'm lying there, also pretending to be snoozing, he wakes up, reaches down, looks at the card. Obviously, he has read it, turns it over on top of the papers, and proceeds to go back and put his head back on the thing. That was the end of the conversation. That was pretty much the end of the flight. I got up and flew off of that plane at the end of the flight, and that was it. Can you explain that to me? Do you find that a little bit puzzling? A little bit bizarre? A little bit strange? Huh? And I'm thinking to myself, what was it, you know? It had to be... Did I brush my teeth? You know, I did have a slice of pizza at Pizza yesterday afternoon. Oh, good stuff. That must have been it.
Holy Mackinac! This is Joe Bowen, the voice of the Toronto Maple Leafs, and you're listening to the Hockey Authority, Neil Goss.
According to
11:16 at 560 WQAM, 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Maybe I'm not the only person this has ever happened to that was in a place like this, a setting like this, and somebody who knew them, who you knew them, just acted like you didn't even exist. Or maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just a bad guy. Maybe I'm evil. Do you think that could be it? Maybe I'm dangerous. That could be it. Maybe I'm just a miserable son of a bitch. Old queen. That could be it. Or, here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hi, Neil.
Yes, sir.
It sounds remotely possible that he's a homophobe that didn't realize you were gay until after your last conversation. Is that possible?
Till after our last conversation. So in other words, he heard about it in between. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
Yeah, that could be it. Although I find it very difficult to believe that any guy, a young guy especially from Toronto, could be homophobic. There's more queens in Toronto than they have in England.
Well, it sounds pretty bizarre. It sounds like the only likely possibility to me. But
Okay.
anyways, Neil, love the show. Take care.
Thank you. Well, somehow I'll survive. I know this may come as a great shock. I may survive. Life will go on. But it just struck me as being really so typical of, and I guarantee you one thing. In fact, here's my suggestion. Here's my best suggestion, whether it's at Publix, whether it's the airport, whether it's at the barber shop, go the other way. Just pretend I don't exist. Everybody's a lot better off that way,
One of the callers thinks that you were probably used.
Used for what?
Maple Leaf tickets.
I didn't get him any Maple Leaf tickets. What are they talking about? I made an offer he couldn't refuse. Here you go. I'd be happy to do it for you. Leafs fan, you know what it's like? It's like people who drive Corvettes. It's like a club. And when you're out on when you got a nice new Corvette, or even if somebody's got a nice Stingray they're driving on the highway, and you wave, you give them a thumbs up, you wave, whatever, you nod. There's a thing, there's a camaraderie. And here's somebody down here who not is only a hockey fan, which is hard to find. Here's somebody that's a Leafs fan, allegedly a dyed-in-the-wool fan, We're talking about Joe Bowen. We're talking about this, about the great sports section in the Toronto Sun. Great, okay? But somewhere along the line in those intervening 3 weeks, I turned into a monster of the Midway. 5670560, pound 560. And where do you want that stadium, huh? Oh! Let's find out. Which of those 6 sites do you want? You want number 1?
No.
Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello. Okay, nice talking to you, too. Here it is on 3. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Maybe he noticed that you wanted to get in his pants and he didn't want to talk to you.
I got news for you, pal. He must have a high opinion of himself. I wouldn't touch him with your hand or your mouth. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Isn't that interesting? Another one of your people, by the way. Another Julio there. That's all they know. Maricon, maricon, maricon. Not interested. In addition to which, it's kind of interesting. I must be awfully slow. If that was the case, wouldn't you think that I'm awfully slow? It took me 2.5, maybe 3 years to finally getting around to putting the move on this guy. Boy, I must be starting to get real slow in my old age. Just a real slow, methodical approach. If I live to be 100, just maybe. Of course, by then he'll be so old I wouldn't touch him anyway. Forget it, Nelson. You ain't my type, sweetheart. Here's a mobile in Naples. Hello.
Neil, how you doing?
Pretty good, sir.
That is true about the Corvettes. I used to have one, and whenever you see another Corvette, they always wave to you.
Right.
And I didn't know what that was until somebody told me, yeah, that's like a hidden secret. You're supposed to wave.
It's like the Masonic handshake or something.
Yeah, I thought they were hitting on me, too. Listen, the Panthers are playing an exhibition game here in Fort Myers.
Yeah, I do know that, yeah.
Are you going to come?
No.
I got a ticket for you.
No,
Right.
no chance.
Why?
I don't go to exhibition games. Maybe Nelson will go.
Maybe Nelson will go, but will they talk to me?
What?
Will they talk to me?
Yeah, that's up to you, baby. Just don't get too close.
All right, well, we'll see you in Fort Myers.
Okay. Bye. Hold your breath. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Yeah, see, that's one thing about being on an airplane, and I'm the kind of person, generally speaking, if somebody starts a conversation with me on a plane, it's a great way to kill time if I'm going alone, which the Toronto trips I usually do, because my friend John don't want to go up there late at night because you get there, it's midnight, and the whole night is shot anyway. He's a pain in the ass on it, don't want to go. But if you're sitting next to somebody who's a reasonable human being and a little bit conversational, you can kill the whole time, and before you know it, you're getting ready to land, and that's great, makes the time pass. But I'm not the kind of person that's going to sit there and start up, hey, and ask somebody's life story. It's just not my personality. I just don't do it. Here's a mobile in Hollywood. Hello. Boy, I'm telling you, everything in here is like falling apart. Mobile in Hollywood.
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
Okay, sir.
Maybe the Chinese guy was his boyfriend and extremely overprotective,
And maybe he felt uncomfortable talking to you. You know what I'm saying? Maybe a little weirdo like that. A little, I don't know. All righty, my man.
Okay.
Take care, Neil.
Wow. Boy, if that's the case. I mean, don't get me wrong. There are a lot of very, very fine-looking Chinese men and women. Believe me, this was not one of them. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's Hollywood. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Maybe the problem is that they know that Neil Rogers is a hot dog jockey.
A what?
A hot dog jockey.
Oh, a hot dog jack. Yeah, okay. Want to make sure we got it right, Spick. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Hot dog jockey. Say it right. Yeah, you can get the word out. Jockey, you can say it. What do you say?
Hot dog yaki?
Yeah, yaki. I wonder if this kid's wearing his yaki shorts. Here's a mobile in North Miami. Hello.
Hi, Neil. How are you?
Okay, sir.
I had a quick question. Maybe you give me some insight. What is this thing? Everybody, the topic of stadiums has come up, a lot of times, and it always seems like everybody's asking for a new stadium here and all that. I mean, is that the number one, thing that they really, really want, all these owners? I mean, aren't they just happy playing out a pro player?
No, of course he's not happy out playing out of there. What do you mean by that? If you had a restaurant and you can get somebody else, the public, to come along and build you one 3 times as big and glitzy and glamorous where you could make 10 times the money, are you going to say no?
No, but doesn't it get like the taxpayer, we're all taxpayers? But
sir, but you don't understand. You're not. It's an inane conversation. You're asking me what do the owners want? The owners want whatever they can squeeze out of the public and the municipal politicians. That's what they want. Whatever they can get, they'll take it.
And we keep on dishing it out.
No, we don't. Well, we better not.
We better not. You watch.
I sir, my prediction: if this thing gets on a ballot, it will lose so overwhelmingly it'll make the penny sales tax look like a happy day for Mayor Penis.
I'm curious. I want to see how this thing comes out. One last question. Do you ever get tired of people making an issue of your homosexuality all the time? I mean, I got a comment because you are probably one of the most masculine homosexuals that I've experienced, in talking to.
Yes.
And it's just come on, give you a break already. It's like, why is it always?
But don't you understand? People have to have something. In fact, I'm so delighted that they have something to grab onto, so to speak. It's great. If you say no, seriously, over the years I've always found that if I say something they don't like, or you say something that's unpopular, you faggot, it's great. It gives them something to hang on to. I'm delighted they've got something.
Have you gotten used to it already?
Doesn't bother me. I take a nice big check home every 2 weeks.
Okay, good.
Have a great day, pal.
You too.
Faggot. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Excuse me for living, folks, but that's just the way it is. Maybe someday some of you will grow up, but I'm not going to hold my breath. We're not going to wait. March right along. Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello?
Yeah, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Which of the sites do you like best?
Which of the sites do I like best?
Yes.
Omaha would be good. Omaha. Right in the middle of the country.
There are 2 sites that they didn't include that are better than the 6.
Sir, like Hank said on Friday, the last thing I'm going to do is listen to a bunch of proposals that aren't even on the list. I mean, that's such a waste of time. That is such an unbelievable, extraordinary waste of time. I don't like any of the sites. Don't you understand? As it says on a multiple choice, none of the above. You got it so far?
No.
None of the above. No, one of the above. Right. None. No to number 1. No to number 2. No to number 3. No to number 4. Number 5. And number 6. No. That's my favorite choice. No. And this line of his about how, well, he'll build it, but if he has to build it, it won't be as good. He warns that a privately built stadium would be smaller and leave no extra money in his pocket to improve the team by increasing its payroll. So it's a threat. It's a blackmail. Oh, I'll do it, but you don't want what I'm going to build. It's going to be a piece of crap that nobody will come to. So, I'm really willing to do it. You really believe he's willing to do it?
No.
Of course not. Why would he be willing to do it if he knows it's going to be a losing proposition? It's just more blackmail like Wayne with that bull crap that he gave us with the Macarena. How soon they forget. Oh, my God, Wayne. Thank God you never lie to us.
And I'm going to tell you something right now, and you can mark it down. If Broward County would change their mind and decide they wanted to build this facility, I will not play here.
Yeah.
Because I will not have you guys looking at me for the next 10 years saying, here's a guy that said one thing and went out and did something else.
Right, we won't say that, but are they playing there? Yeah, last time I checked. Raking in the dough. They are raking in the dough in that arena, man. The money is pouring in. He's squeezing every dime he can out of that Macarena there, out of that beautiful facility. He's just squeezing the blood out of it. And they're playing there because they built it for him. That's why he's playing there.
Hi, this is G. Gordon Liddy, and they don't come any worse than Neil Rogers.
New from the makers of Uncle Josh's fishing baits and KY brand personal lubricants, it's Master Bait. Tired of using confusing and unreliable plastic fishing lures or squirming, disgusting live bait? Oh, Jesus, Bill Bleach. Do those long hours in a boat with no bites leave you feeling bored? Hey, I'm all by myself out here. Let's make out. Then try new Master Bait. Squeeze a little dab on your hook and in your palm, and in no time, you won't care if the fish are biting or not.
Oh, yeah, I think it's a big one. Yeah!
Master Bait. Order today and you'll receive a free 100% terry cloth Master Bait signature hand towel and a complimentary issue of Field & Stream Swimsuit Edition. Don't let the big one slip between your fingers again. But if it does, who cares? Master Bait. Available at Bass Pro Shop, Fisher-Rama, and Fredericks of Hollywood.
Sounds fishy to me. 11:31 at 560 WQAM. Oh! A great Monday. I'm not really sure why it's a great day. I'm finally starting to make a comeback now mentally. I just feel like I was in the twilight zone for the last 24 hours. Maybe it's this flu. Maybe it's the fact that it was 52 degrees in my hotel room on Sunday night, whatever night it was. Friday. I don't even know what night it was. Freezing. I mean, just frigid. Even more frigid than a reception in that airport. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's a mobile in Kendall. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry that happened to you, but I have to say, I think what you're experiencing is something that probably you're not used to experiencing as much as the rest of us. I mean, I think, the non-celebrities get that a lot more than
in what way? In other words, you go places and people just ignore you?
Well, you've got to admit, you go into restaurants or stores, they know who you are, you have a reputation, and you're less likely to get that than, someone like myself, the average schmo who gets the cold shoulder from, the general population,
You do?
That happens a lot,
I haven't had one person call so far that can relate to this experience that's ever had anybody. I'm talking about not somebody who's waiting on you. I'm talking about somebody that you know.
Oh, no, this has happened. My wife has gotten this. My brother has gotten stuff just like this. So, you run into somebody that I ran into somebody I went to school with years ago.
Yeah.
And, we were, I wouldn't say best friends, but good friends. And it was like, hey, buddy.
I'm so glad. Go ahead, finish.
Well, and it was like, all of a sudden it's like, who, did he recognize me? Oh, yeah, I remember you. And it's like, am I the only one, I feel, am I the only one who has a memory, who has an emotional history with people?
Yeah.
Or is it that, after so many years or minutes that goes by, you just...
there's nothing like...
Oh,
yeah,
how are you?
Yeah, that's always good.
It first of all, it doesn't do your ego any good, and...
I don't have any ego, so it doesn't bother me. Look,
everybody has an ego, and everybody likes to be liked and known and remembered, especially remembered. I think that's that's the important part. But not to disparage you in any way, shape, or form, but I just tend to think that somebody in more of a celebrity position gets this less. So when you get it, you probably feel it more.
Okay.
That's just my opinion.
Okay, thanks.
Bye.
He brought back to mind the fact that when I was it was when I had my stroke years ago, 10, 11 years ago. I had a very minor stroke, and I was in Plantation General for a couple of days. And lo and behold, comes to find out, a guy who I grew up with, we were kids, I was living in Canandaigua, he lived in Manchester, New York, we're just a few miles away, and should I say his name on the air?
No.
Dr. Morris? I won't say his name on the air. But at any rate, we grew up together, we were best of friends. And he was a doctor in this hospital. I was in there. He wasn't a doctor having anything to do with treating me, but he was working in the hospital. Did he come by and say anything?
No.
Check on me?
No.
Pull any strings to give me some... No. Met him and his wife at Calder Racetrack one day. After years and years and years, met them out there at the track. My late friend Bill Calder was there, met these folks, very friendly. Oh, it's great to see you. We bet a few races. Oh, we got to get together and so on. Gave him my phone number. Not only did I never hear from them, but one day I'm at my old bank out there in Plantation when I used to live in or further east. I'm at the bank, and here comes my old friend Dr. Morris from Manchester, New York, and he's also taking money out of the ATM. And I give them a big greeting. Hey, how you doing? And it's like, got a bad cold. And looking straight ahead, just like the guy on the plane, looking straight ahead, takes the money out, see ya, gone. Like I never existed. Like I never existed. Somebody I grew up with. Not that, and it makes no difference to me. Doesn't hurt my feelings. I just find it strange that people go out of their way to be A, antisocial, and B, to try to inflict on each other. What's the point? There are people who drive me nuts. I'll go shopping. This last guy who thinks it's such a picnic to be recognized, I got news for you, pal. Anonymity beats being recognized by 1,000,000 miles. There's no comparison. Being anonymous is the greatest thing in the world. And there are people, like at the hockey games, most people, 99% of the people, how you doing, love your show, what do you think of the game? 30 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes, whatever. I've made some nice friends out there, they're hockey fans, etc. Talk for a few minutes before most of the games. That's fine. But every now and then, somebody will come along, and they don't know when to get out of your face. They don't know when to say goodbye. So if you think that being known is such a great benefit, yeah, if getting free meals, that's great. That's what JP says. Getting free meals, that's what it's all about. Right, Brad? You bet. We're trying to teach him all. In fact, he's going to be getting his diploma this Friday in freeloading 101. That's there for JP. We finally taught him the ins and the outs. How to freeload a meal delicately. Do it with a little bit of class, panache, Do it the right way. Don't just say, hey, send us over a bunch of crap, okay? I'm a big shot. I'm from the Neil Rogers show. Don't do that. Call up and say, hey, buddy, how you doing? Having a good day? Great. Here's what Neil would like today. Neil, you know Neil. He's a bit chazer. He eats too much. Here's what he wants, that fat pig. Send him over like 4 pizzas. Send him over 20 or 30 submarine sandwiches, and maybe that'll satisfy that queen, whatever. That's the way to do it. A little bit of class. Boy, I tell you, I wish I'd give anything if I had people are strange by the doors. I have it at home. I don't have it here because this is what I'm thinking today. What in God's name? Why? Not just keep your mouth shut, okay? Just get on a plane, mind your own business. I'm not seeking anybody else out. I'm not looking for any conversation. I want to get out of here, go to my car, drive home, and that's it. That's all. Whew! Bizarro. Hi, Aliyah. Hello.
Hey, Neil. How you doing?
Okay, sir.
Long-time listener, Mr. Chronic over here.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, you know? Okay, great.
Like we don't know that voice?
I know you know my voice.
Like we don't know that voice?
I have controlled myself for many a month.
Yeah, you've been good.
I wanted to talk to you real quick because I know what it's like to be,
ignored?
Well, you're under the scrutiny of criticism when you're a popular figure.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things you have to live with, whether you like it or not. You have to live with the scrutiny of criticism from other people.
But what is that? More criticism about what?
Maybe people don't like your show. Maybe people don't like you. Maybe they secretly love your show, but they're envious. There's a lot of...
This guy loved my show, even the TV show, and anybody who loved the TV show, well, now that you make a good point, he probably had bad taste. That was a horrible show.
Well, he was just probably an a-hole then.
Yeah.
And as simple as that. There's no second story to that. It's just.
But I mean, let me ask you this: if you're sitting next to somebody on the plane, okay? I mean, you fly, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You're saying like you're going to New York, you're going to Boston, 2.5, 3 hour trips. You're sitting next to somebody on a plane, and it's somebody you know, not a good friend, not somebody who's close, but somebody you know. Are you going to sit there and ignore them for 3 hours?
No, that will definitely not happen with me. I will at least say hello.
To me, this was the rudest, the most unacceptable, the most bizarre, the most inexplicable, the most obnoxious piece of behavior, and especially coming from somebody from Toronto, which the people up there are some of the friendliest people I've ever met anywhere in the world. They're unbelievably great.
The guy was just either incredibly shy to say something, or he was just a total a-hole. There's only 2 stories to that.
Yeah.
That's the only. There's no reason to psychologically analyze it. This guy was an a-hole who was just too embarrassed to say hello to you. One of the 2. And by the way, about those hockey tickets.
No.
Yeah. Okay, listen, have a great day.
Hey.
Yeah.
One more thing.
In closing, please.
In closing,
you're killing me.
Real quick, these Cubans that are. No, I'm not kidding. The ones who are smuggling people over here. They're smuggling people over here, and they got arrested in Cuba, and a few got arrested here for it. I don't see the Cubans protesting about that.
Yeah.
Am I correct?
Well, when we build a new stadium down there at Bicentennial Park, what we're going to be able to do is roll a whole bunch of people off the protest out on Biscayne Boulevard and roll them right into the stadium and fill up some of those seats.
Get them over there.
Have a great day.
Okay, take care.
Say goodbye. Okay, 20 before the hour. Who the hell is that? Is that John Penis behind the sunglasses with that cap on trying to do his skies today or what? By the way, what is that? What did you do? He what?
He went sidewalk surfing.
Oh, man! Jesus, we got Fat Boy this morning who looked like he ran into a lawnmower, and John Penis who looks like a 90-year-old man. I thought for a minute it was a cross between Igor and Todd Dreck. Oh, I'm sorry, that was a low blow. By the way, one of his accounts, it looks like cancer. That's there. Todd Dreck. You know which one, too. What did I tell you? How many weeks ago did I predict it, okay? And that's what happens, John Penis, when you don't service your accounts and get them any copy. That's what happens. You know, the electronic products and appliances you want at the price you can afford are waiting for you. At Appliance TV Depot, that's what that store is all about. That's why John's got his head buried on the table.
And beat that gator meat.
Rednecks, militia members, survivalists. When you're ready to start that new country and you need an embassy to impress your followers, come out to Ed's White Trash Trailer Park. Ed has over 2 acres of quality new and used mobile homes. Double wides for those militant groups who expect a long siege by the ATF. Plenty of storage space for supplies and illegal weapons. So before you barricade yourself up, come by Ed's White Trash Trailer Park. And remember, if you're married to your sister, you get 25% off. That's Ed's on Highway 9.
All right, it's 11:45 at 560 WQM, 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. I think that guy was very much mistaken. I think that you'd have to talk to about, 4,000 people? Well, you said you had it happen to you. Be just totally ignored and shined by somebody that you knew. Was that like after a date rape, something like that? 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Well, that'd be cause for it. In a couple of weeks not speaking. Here's Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how are you?
Okay, sir.
That's good. Yeah, I kind of understand what you're talking about there because a good friend of mine in upstate New York, a lot of his friends in high school went on to be, managers and computer programmers and things like this. And this guy just wound up working in a mill and he's got a nice family and things like that.
Yeah.
And every time I get a chance to go up there, I see him and, my other friends and things, and they always tell me, you don't want to hang out with this guy. He's going nowhere. Go down to Saratoga with us or something like this. And meanwhile, this guy, he's one of the truest friends I ever had in my life.
Yeah.
I enjoy his company. These people, these other people, these professionals, they want to go down to Saratoga or Lake George and cheat on their wives and get hotels on the Strip and things like this. And this guy embodies everything that is great.
Yeah.
About
what is
the
that?
marriage institution and the love of his family and things like that.
Oh, I see.
And they just don't, it's like they won't associate him. It's like they, sometimes they'd see him and they'd get into a conversation and he wouldn't know what they were talking about and they'd laugh at him and things. And I said, no, I told him, no, I don't want to be with you.
Part of the problem that I find is that I have a very different idea about people, and I don't find too many people who understand where I'm coming from. Even the people that know me the best, I don't think understand where I'm coming from. In other words, I get attracted to people. I'm not talking about sex, okay? I can find all the people and sex. That's another story. But I'm just talking about people that you like, that you have something in common with, people you think, hey, this is really a neat guy, this is a nice person. And, and I don't find too many people who are like that.
Right. And it's so,
they don't get it.
Yeah, it's so
everybody thinks you're looking for something.
Exactly.
Like Boca Brian is in here looking for money today, and forget that. No check.
All right. Well, that's all I had to say, Neil.
Okay, thanks, pal.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Have a great day. Yeah, no check for Boca Brian today. If he thinks that after getting home at midnight last night, I got any check for him, he's dreaming. He better turn around and go back home and get a haircut. 5670560. Pound 560 on it. Oh, he's not speaking to me now either. No check. He's just ran out. That's okay. I understand. Maybe I was supposed to bring those season tickets last night. That's what it was. Yeah. Oh! Those Maple Leaf season tickets right there. Those platinums. That would be good. About 4 or 5 of them would be okay. Here's Darrell. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hi. Yeah, I was just going to tell you, and I think you just mentioned it now in the last call, that it's probably pretty much a misunderstanding. The guy probably took your interest in him wrong or something.
After 2.5 years?
Yeah. Well, see, that's the funny thing. This has happened to me. It's happened to my brother. It's just, I don't know, the way we've been brought up that if we like somebody, we do things for him.
Right.
And now my brother does go a little overboard. But I've had that experience where people just quit talking to me. And, you know, I thought, well, what did I do wrong? And I asked them, what did I do wrong? And they never tell you. And...
Well, I don't want to know what I did wrong.
yeah.
I don't think I did anything wrong. And if somebody don't like me, put to them, okay, I just don't want to be put in that position. In fact, I'll make sure it never, ever happens again. I don't want to be in a position of feeling uncomfortable, like all of a sudden I'm intruding on somebody's space. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, hello, how you doing? Oh, yeah, like, oh, it's the leper over there. Get away from me. We might catch something, you know.
Well, that's what I was thinking. That,
what's that giant sore on your lip?
The guy did know that you were going to get him tickets or something, right?
Right.
And, but you had to go look for him or something?
No. If you're gonna have somebody left tickets at will call at a ballpark at an arena, you have to know the person's name, and they have to be able to get in touch with you or vice versa, so that in other words, they can't just show up there and say, "Hey, my name is Nelson. You got some tickets for me?" It doesn't work that way.
Right,
okay?
yeah, okay.
And I'm assuming that that was going to take place in a later conversation, but of course there is no later conversation. So to him, and I'll take my own goddamn tickets.
You said he did know the show, so he should know you were gay.
Of course.
And the only other thing I could think of was that, you know, but he should know, but he thought maybe you were hitting on him or something, and that's why it sounded like to me that a lot of times when these things have happened to me, it's because the other person was a woman or something, and they thought I was hitting on him or something. You know, and see, now that I'm having like second thoughts now after all these years of experience that like somebody did something really nice for me in a store.
Yeah.
And I thought they went beyond the call of their job to help me out. And they were very nice. So when I went back there another time, I gave them a book that I designed. You know?
Mm-hmm.
But then, like, every time I go in there, you know, I just wave hello and everything, but I try to stay away from them because I don't want them to get the impression that I'm trying to get something from them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of not, you know, it's not nice because I'd like to have another conversation with the person. But, you know, it's something I have to do and let them decide to come to me and say something to me.
Oh, I don't have time for people to play games. I have no room in my life for that, and let them move on, okay?
Well,
let them find some wonderful people that'll do a lot of great things for them and have a great life, and that's it.
Right. I
Get
just
out of
like
my
to do
face.
nice things to people, too, you know? I mean, for people. And this was just my way of saying thanks, but I don't expect anything from it, you know?
Okay, and that's the problem. Oh, and that's what you'll get. Okay, have a great day.
Okay.
5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. There's an old saying in life, expect nothing and you'll rarely be disappointed. Expect the least, and they'll usually live up to your expectations. That's what Boca Brian says every week when he brings his new material, and expect the least. Here's Miami Beach. Hello.
Hi, Neil. How you doing?
Okay, sir.
I'm going to add a little something to this, I hope. Some of this may be, although certainly not all of it, the fact that whoever it is may have forgotten the other person's name, and he's embarrassed to talk to him because he just can't remember his name.
No.
No? Okay. And it may not have happened in your situation, but that probably is a reason it happens in others. They just can't remember, or maybe the guy comes over and starts talking to him, and the fellow who's being talked to says, gee, I cannot remember this guy's name, and tries to cut the conversation.
Definitely not. And it wouldn't make any difference. It's not necessary.
Because you should say, gee, I can't remember who you are, or what have you.
He can't remember who I am?
Oh, no. Your situation may be different. Or, no, I'll tell you, a lot of times people see
maybe he's got young Alzheimer's.
He could be.
Yeah.
You know, they see celebrities, and they just, boom, it just goes right out of their mind, the name of the person they're seeing, even though they may listen to him every day, see him on TV or that
and have a 10-minute conversation with him, right.
Just vanished.
Mm-hmm.
For that reason, they're a bit embarrassed. They're ashamed to ask somebody who they listen to every day, see on TV, whatever, gee, I just can't remember your name, so they
No.
You know.
I know what you're talking about, but that's not the case here.
Right, I know it may not be. Just wanted to introduce that into the conversation.
Now, that's a good point. I have that happen because I'm real good on faces, but real lousy on names.
And, yeah, it does happen. It happens to me a lot, so, you know, I kind of thought of that.
Okay, thanks. What's your name? Okay. 5670560, pound 5. That is embarrassing. That's another whole topic. All the time that happens to me. I mean, because I meet so many people in here, and after a while, some of them start all running together, you know? They look alike, they smell alike, they act alike. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Oh, yeah, I just wondered, there are two things. First of all, it happened to me once
I sensed a strange dynamic between the person I was seated next to. Even though it was a stranger, body language and all that, I immediately asked to move my seat. And
really?
I wondered, well, the fact that he was coughing and sneezing all over you, and you weren't comfortable. Well, I mean, the dynamic was weird. Was there another?
No, the plane was packed. And when I saw him come on there, and he's going to sit down next to me, I'm thinking to myself, after the ice cold reception out in the goddamn waiting area there, this is going to be a disaster. This is going to be a nightmare.
Exactly, that was my point, and it immediately would have occurred to me to request, particularly in first class.
But there was no other place to go. On the wing. The wing was the only place, and he refused to go out there.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I understand. But
he was by the window. I guess a little shove. He could have gone out close to the wing, but it didn't work out.
Well, you should have pushed him out the window.
Yeah, good point. Thank you.
Bye.
5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. As the dilemma of the day, I mean, nobody here seems to give a crap about that stadium stuff, which I can understand because it ain't going to happen anyway. They just keep that one word in mind. No, they're all concerned about.
Where is self?
That's what they're concerned about. Here's Key Largo. Hello. Key Largo. 3 minutes and 14 seconds. Is that a long time to wait?
No.
They're gone. Let's try Miami. Hello.
Marty, go!
Okay, great. Nice talking to you too, sweetie. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Turn that down.
Turn that down, damn it.
Turn it down, damn it.
Turn it down, goddammit.
That's what he told me.
Yeah.
Hey, guy, what's happening?
Turn it down. Damn it. What can we do for you, sir?
Just listening, driving along the turnpike, man. Never heard anything like this.
Like what?
Like this show.
Yeah. And?
Like church.
What is it?
Like church.
What? What language are you speaking, sir? What kind of a phone have you got, and where have you got it?
Rectum.
What is it? Okay, I'll see you in church. Whatever the hell he's talking about. Like that. Bad phone day all the way around. The cell phones are bad. Our phone system, our Kresge phone system is crapping out. Of course, it is Monday. Don't expect too much. Fine. And, of course, do we have any women on this topic?
No.
No, not one. Have we talked to a woman today?
No.
Not one. That's okay. We understand that you know nothing about human relationships, about being civilized. It's obvious from your lack of response on this show. Today, yesterday, a week from Sukkot, tomorrow, 5 weeks from Tisha B'Av, every day of my life. It's always the same. And that's okay. I don't take it personal, because who cares? Poker Brian just says, how about a hand job? That's a no thing.
WQAM, Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
I don't want to get that
bad. Icky bad breath.
Like that's where it come from. Must have been the garlic pizza with the onion. You got yourself a little closer. Believe me, nothing could have been grosser. And you're a dragon with a big, bad, invisible plan, and you didn't do nothing about it. You're to blame. You knocked me over, man, and I don't josh. You gotta find yourself at least a toothbrush and or a mouthwash, breath mint, and a good rinse. But when you started talking, everybody left. Haven't seen them since. Better take action on your oral offense. Deodorize your mouth or lose your friends.
Your bad breath, we just can't take your bad breath. You need to fix your bad breath. We just can't take your bad breath.
502-560 WQM. Do we have a woman on the phone yet?
No.
No women. Not one call today from a woman because they don't care about these things. They're not interested in human relationships. All they're cared about, they're concerned about using men. That's what they're concerned about. That's their idea, I guess, of human relationships, is using you guys, and that's okay. You're used to it, and you hopefully get what you want in the end. Here's the mobile in Coral Springs. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
In the end. Yes, sir.
Hey, I got your, I think I know what happened.
Okay, here we go. Here's the definitive answer, folks.
It is. Okay, first I'll tell you this. All right, I'm straight, which I know you don't believe because you think no one's straight. Gay guys.
Where did you come up with that?
Well, everybody that has ever mentioned, you think they're gay.
No.
Or at least bi.
No.
All right, so I'll tell you what
I know
happened.
Ricky Martin's straight.
Yeah, he's straight.
He's the only one I know.
I've been seeing him on the sides. Are you there?
I'm listening.
I thought you hung up on me.
No.
All right,
Why would I do that?
I'm going to give you...
We're just getting to the meat of the matter here.
All right, I'm going to tell you what happened to me recently. I go to this gym, I work out. There's this guy that's always there, and he always works out, right? He's in good shape and all that stuff, and he's always talking to me.
Yeah.
So I realized one day, I said, you know something, that guy's gay. I never even thought about it at first.
Uh-huh.
So every time I see the guy at the gym, he's, hey, how you doing, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So I go in one day, and I see him there, and I thought, oh, he didn't see me. He always says hi to me. So I go over and I give him a hero's welcome. Hey, how you doing, man? And he's like really quiet, wouldn't even look at me.
Really?
So, yeah. So I'm like, what the heck happened to him? So same thing. I thought I did something to piss this guy off. What did I do? I don't even know the guy.
Uh-huh.
Now I look over 2 minutes later and he's working out with this other guy. It was his boyfriend. He's afraid to talk to me because his boyfriend's there. That other guy with him was probably his boyfriend.
The guy with Nelson? The Chinese guy was sitting in the back and coach.
Oh! I thought you said that you saw them. See, I only.
They were standing together in the terminal.
Yeah.
That wasn't his boyfriend. Jesus, God Almighty! He's got to have better eyesight than that.
Well, how the hell do I know what this Chinese guy looked like?
Believe me, you don't want to know.
Anyways, the second theory.
I would say, you ever have egg foo young? That was this guy.
You know what the problem is?
After the second chewing, yeah.
Yeah, you're always hungry an hour later.
Right.
All right, Neil.
Thanks a lot. That's what happens when you do a Chinese guy. You're hungry an hour later, right? 567-0560.
Squirt.
Pound 560 on the Mobile One line. God, where is this all coming from? And where does it end? I thought we had a woman on there moments ago, and she wasn't going to wait more than like 5 seconds. Excuse us, sweetheart. Yeah, we had a woman on there, and she flew away before you could say crap, much less think about taking one. 567-0560, pound 560 on the Mobile One line. Excuse us. Is there one of these that says, it is. It's Boca. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, good afternoon to you. Vegas, Friday.
Great.
I'm taking my tax money that's going to go towards the baseball stadium, and I'm going to spend it in Vegas.
Right, that's it. Give it to the people in Vegas. At least they give us a good time instead of some horseball baseball team that nobody wants to see.
They got a team out in Vegas. I'll watch them rather than the Marlins.
Right.
Real quick, though, going out there first time, is there one thing I should see?
No.
No? Okay. Just take it all in.
Just walk out on the strip and go nuts.
Take it all in.
Yeah.
Okay. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you, Neil.
Have a great time. Good luck.
Thanks.
Keep us in mind. 567-0560, pound 560 on the Mobile One line. Here's a lady in Sunrise. A lady.
Hey, Neil. I've been trying to reach you. I'm hearing like bits and pieces of your show, but I hear you picking on the women, so I had to call in and defend them.
Yeah, the women are not interested in this topic today.
What's
And it has to do with responsible social relationships.
That's what's your problem? I didn't hear your...
Well, I'm not going to repeat the whole part from the first...
Just give me a couple of pieces of it. I heard you met a guy, Eric, then there was some Chinese
Eric?
guy, then you were in first class. I've been in and out of my car about 30 times today. So
Yeah. Where's Eric?
You met a guy, Eric Cohn.
Eric Cohen. Yeah, Eric from London, right.
Yeah, I'm just not catching the whole thing, and I just was wondering what was your relationship conflict.
What was my what?
Your problem. What's the relationship problem? You want women's advice. None of the women are calling in, so I'm calling in.
Yeah, okay, thanks. 560. No, she wants me to repeat the whole goddamn show for her. I'm not going to do it. I don't do that here. I'm not going to go through that whole story. It was a great story. It was a bizarre story, but I thought a masterful job of laying it out there for you. And now she wants me to read like all women. Oh, gimme. I'll give you a dial tone, sweetheart. Get out of here, bitch. 567-0560, pound 5, like her, she doesn't even know what we're talking about, but she's a woman, and so therefore her advice is going to be so valuable, and she's going to have such tremendous insight as to what a jackass I am, or whatever the problem was, that she's going to, what am I getting exercised about? I'm so sorry I even brought this up. Here's Boca. Hello.
Neil.
Probably what her husband says. Yes, sir.
How are you?
Great.
I've got the answer for you. It's happened to me a couple of times.
Okay.
I was on an airplane, and the guy beside me was exceptionally nice to me. This has happened a couple of times.
Yeah.
And throughout the conversation, extremely nice guy. Come to find out, the guy's trying to sell me Amway. So maybe he thought you were trying to sell him Amway products.
Yeah.
Maybe that was it.
Yeah, most guys that do radio shows are selling Amway products.
Well, on the side, make a few bucks on the side.
Uh-huh.
Maybe that was it.
Okay.
All right, bye.
567-0560, pound 560 on a Mobile One line. That's what I was trying to do, is sell my line of herbal vitamins just when he least expected it. Here you go. Loan me $50,000 for this line. And they're banging again and clanging down there. I'm not going to be able to survive with that. They're banging and clanging. I'm just hanging on by a thread here today. Hanging on by a very razor-thin thread. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello. Mobile in Miami.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I think I got the answer for you, big guy.
Uh-huh.
You know what? You said that you went up to the counter and tried to get him an upgrade or something like that?
No, I didn't say I went up to the counter. I said I had talked to somebody that I know worked at the airline and tried to get him upgraded the flight that we were supposed to be going the following week when he said he was going back and I already had my reservation.
Well, what if he heard about that? Don't you think that may have turned him off? That could be it, because I know if it were me...
Wait a minute. By trying to guarantee somebody's upgrade that you knew was already flying and sometimes didn't get bumped up?
Right. I mean, there's a pride issue here. It's like saying, you're a big shot, you're trying to get me upgraded, and who am I, That, I'm thinking, I heard it from start to finish, and I'm saying nothing makes sense except the possibility that guy said, maybe he's meddling in my business a little too much, and maybe that offended him.
Huh.
If he heard about it.
You know what?
If not, then it doesn't make sense.
You know what?
What's that?
Tough crap then.
Hey, I agree with you.
Try to do
I would take the upgrade on
I'll bet you wouldn't. So would anybody else with a brain, right?
All right.
Okay, pal. Good point.
All right, buddy.
Thanks. Hey, how about if we stick you back in cargo? How's that? I'll take care of it for the next flight, pal. Yeah, you'll be back there with the goddamn all the little animals in those little cages. 567-0560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. God. Oh. People who make life complicated could be so simple, just straightforward, honest. In fact, the best deal is, hey, get away from me, go to hell, I don't want to see you. Okay, great, excuse me, move on.
Down through the strip joint, fat man go. Get your dollar in the gutter of a tattooed hole. Oh! He said, honey, got money for you. But when you're taking me back into the private room for a hand job, that's hand job. Take your clothes off, she insists. I'm gonna hose you down like a tuna fish. Up a big roll of his fat. And only by the smell can you tell where it's at. For a hand job, that's hand job. The girls used to handle with big fat guys. She know how to make the bald men cry. Facts and shakes with the shout and the howl. Who would leave the skid mark on the towel? Hand job.
How young is too young?
Hand job.
Squirt. Okay, 12:16 at 560 WQM. So anyway, Boca Brian brings me in the card that ties in. Now, he brought this in, not for this reason, but it ties in perfectly with what we're talking about today. Goes to show you, I just think that people are living in the 20th century, and most of them in this country at any rate, or maybe in this continent, are living in the Stone Age. This is a business card from WGBS, Larry Knight, WGBS program director. I was talking about him a couple of weeks ago. And we find out that he died, 11 years ago, 12 years ago, whatever the hell it was, at a very young age. Jefferson Pilot Broadcasting, and Brian had been applying for a job 1984. Now here's the guy, Larry Knight. I worked with him at WSTR, Sturgis, Michigan, and then we worked together. We went from there, about three of us, to WTPS in Kalamazoo, Michigan. And not only did I work with Larry Knight, I lived with him twice. He was my roommate, obviously in a separate room, but nevertheless, we lived in a house, and then we lived in a townhouse in Kalamazoo. He comes to Miami at this point, let's see, 84. I would have been here 8 years already, working at GBS. I'm at Snooze or at INZ, wherever I am. Did he ever call?
No.
Get in touch with me?
No.
Make any contact?
No.
See, there's that fag thing again. Wow. Am I depressed about that?
No.
No. See, my philosophy about that is F them. You know, if that bothers them, too bad. Grow up, get a life. That is amazing that he would bring in that card. Here's Miami. Hello.
Neil,
Yes, sir.
in listening to most of what you had to say, because I think I caught you not completely on the story, I think two things. One, not very many people, especially in Miami, in the airport, are very forthcoming and genuine from the standpoint of relating to other people. That's number one.
I hear there's a lot of people coming in Miami Airport, but usually late at night.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Well, that's another thing.
Yeah.
But I think the guy looked at you knowing who you were
Yeah.
and eventually thought that you were being too nice and that you had ulterior motives, period. And if he's listening today, which I hope he is.
No, I doubt that. I don't think so.
You don't think so? Well, I think if he happens to be. Oh, the other problem with him was he was too immature to say to you that he was having a problem. You know, if what you were doing for him, or if he were taking something.
I mean, see, the bottom line to all of this is here. I mean, scrape everything else away.
Yeah.
Here in this bastion of hockey stupidity, and you know, I think people listening to the show know that the Toronto Maple Leafs. I've been a Leaf fan for 40 years. It's a very, very, very important thing to me. It's in my blood. I live and die blue and white. Okay.
Yeah.
And I find somebody who is from up there, who's a major fan, who can talk about it intelligently, who really follows it. And I'm thinking to myself, all we're talking about here is a few hockey tickets. That's all we're talking about. Okay.
So with that,
Wait a minute. I eventually get your last name. I give you my phone number, or you give me your phone number. Somehow we make an arrangement to contact. I call up Rimmer. He calls up Rick Wamsley, his friend up there with the Leafs. Leave some tickets in your name. I don't ever have to see you again. Here are some tickets to go see some hockey games. Enjoy them. Have a great time. Go Leafs, go. That's all this amounts to. And right away it's like, oh, there's something sinister going on.
Immature guy, man. Just another immature person.
Woo, well, too bad.
And on top of all of that, he probably really did think you were trying to set him up to come on to him.
I was doing what?
That you were trying to come
on to him?
Yeah.
Boy, he sure has a high opinion of himself, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, but you know,
this guy's 26 or 7 years old, too old for me.
Yeah, but he didn't know that.
Well,
you know, but
you know what? I should walk around with like those buttons, or like with a card. And if I see somebody like that and start a conversation, he starts getting nervous, I hold up the button or put it on. Hey, don't worry, you're too old for me.
Yeah, but see that I think it was an issue of immaturity on his part.
Oh, I think you're right on it, man.
Yeah. Okay, man.
Thank you.
Later.
Okay, anybody else want some tickets?
No.
Now, I gave Joe Costello all my Dolphin tickets, except for the ones with the Bills. Yeah, he's peeing in his pants in the other room right now, right in the middle of another free lunch. I'm not touching him. No, I mean, and I'll be honest with you, I like Joe Costello. He's one of my favorite people in this building, okay? He's a great guy. Even JP, who hates everybody. Well, I don't want to start that business with your ex-girlfriend. Well, she hated Joe. Which is why they split up, by the way. It was an argument about Joe Costello. And that's a good reason to break up. How could anybody not like Joe? Unless they hate auto racing. But anyway, there's a guy, give him my Dolphin tickets. And right away, do I want sex from Joe Costello?
No.
With or without the Dolphin tickets?
No.
No, not this week, not next week.
No.
Maybe on a desert island after about 30 years. You know what I'm saying? Now, Jason, on the other hand, even after 30 years, the answer is still
no.
You're safe. But these people, and you know, I get a lot of that. And you can tell. You can tell. Like when I go out and do those appearances. And young guys will come out to the appearances, and some of them will like hover in the back. They don't want to come too close, like they're going to catch something, like it's going to rub off, or like I'm really going to get all excited and start squeezing myself if I see them. And most of the people who behave like that, I wouldn't touch with your fingers, with the tip of your tongue. I wouldn't get anywhere near them. I have no interest whatsoever. They're about as arousing as a big heaping pile of elephant crap, okay? But God, there are a lot of people out there that think they're the hottest damn thing since fried halava. And they're not. Woo! 5670560, pound 560 on a mobile one line, as I try to get my brains back together. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Hi, Neil.
Yes, sir.
You know, the last caller was right on. You're just too good, too nice a person. You know, and for somebody to get hockey tickets and be treated so royally.
I do stuff like that routinely. I do things like that routinely, okay? I'll give you an example. I don't want to bring that approach on here because then it sounds like I'm patting myself on the back and I'm, you know, aren't I a wonderful guy? But like yesterday was my roommate's birthday, okay? August 8th was his 36th birthday. I'm out of town for the weekend. He didn't go on this trip. So I leave him a card and I leave him a check in there. And believe me, there were 3 zeros in the check. It was a nice check, a good amount of money. and we don't have a sexual relationship. He's a very good friend. We lived together for 7.5 years. He's a great guy. That's just the way I am with people. If I can afford it, I like to spread the wealth.
Right, but Neil, most people
I guess there's nobody else like that.
No, I mean, I'm sort of like you are, but most people aren't, and so they're suspect.
Well, screw 'em.
Also, this guy, it sounds like he's out of the closet a little more than Toronto.
Okay, great. I wish I could have left that on the air. He said I scared the crap out of him. Whatever, I don't care. 5670560, pound 560 on a mobile one line. It was a 7 or 8 minute friendship. It was lovely while it lasted. Goodbye. Good luck to you. Like I said on the card, have a great life. Get out of my face. Go away. Grow up someday. Woo. Here's Weston. Hello.
Neil?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi.
A lady. Oh, my God. What is wrong with the women today? They hate me today. They hate me worse than Nelson today.
And I've heard your your talk
My story.
on and off today, this morning, so I haven't heard the whole thing, but I do know that you had a situation with a gentleman on an airplane and that you wrote him a little note.
Yes.
Why didn't you just ask him straight out what was his problem?
No, because I don't want to get into a confrontation on a plane. It was just too, uncomfortable, especially when, who knows, you're going to be under another half hour. It would just create hostility. And in addition to which, here's a guy that's going out of his way not to speak to me. I'm not going to try to enter him into a conversation.
That's true.
I figure this is just a good way to give a dig back.
Right. And did he at least acknowledge your note, or?
Huh?
Did he at least acknowledge your note?
No.
He didn't even acknowledge it?
No.
Well, the way you have to look at it is just, he's missing out on a good friendship, on a nice guy.
Good friendship?
Well,
he's
missing out on your friendship, right?
Who needed the friendship?
Huh?
I said, have a great day. Thank you. 5670560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. Paranoid little people. Here's Miami. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I'm at work today, and I heard some coworkers talking. They mentioned something about the Pope had said that there was no heaven and earth. I'm not sure if that's true.
He said there's no such physical place as heaven and hell.
So what's going to happen then when we die?
Go to the Vatican.
Las Vegas?
Yeah.
Oh, and
Okay. 5670560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. Here's a lady in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hello, Neil?
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, how you doing?
Great.
Good. Hey, you know what? I think you're cool, too, because I listen to your show. My boyfriend makes me listen to it every day. But I think you're making too much out of this guy. I wouldn't even think about him anymore.
No, it's not a question about making too much out of this guy. It was just a very peculiar and a very unpleasant experience.
He's just
and
rude.
when somebody goes out of their way to be that rude to you, that you've just got through, the last time you saw the person having a really great conversation with, you wonder, what is your problem, man?
I hear that. But, maybe you did come on too strong to him, because to me it sounded like you did a little bit. And
Come on too strong?
Yeah, like,
respect.
the tickets and everything, because, you just started talking. The tickets and everything, and then after that, no, seriously, that's what I would think. If you offered me all that, I'd be like, wow, this guy's really trying to hang out with me.
Yeah.
But I would just forget about it now. There's so many people like that out there anyways.
Yeah,
And you are, as far as I know, you're a nice guy.
I am.
So.
I'm a lovely guy. Okay, thanks. Bye.
Bye.
I'm a wonderful guy. Just ask me. Am I a great guy? You bet. 5670560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. Hockey tickets. That's a real controversial thing, baby. Free hockey tickets. How come I have the wrong piece of copy in my hand? Probably because I picked it up. Well, if we had the folders for all of this stuff, but we don't want to get too, because George is in there making up those lists for the phone company. Oh, yeah, he's frantic on that. In fact, I would say 80% of the show the last month, George is writing down things on that yellow pad. What's Fat Boy doing? Looking for food? Looking for a handout? It's lunchtime, and all of a sudden, that hair, man, you look like a dork. You really do. You look like a geek. Not that you ever looked great, but I mean, this haircut, they would laugh you out of Buffalo. In Depew, they would laugh you right all the way down to Fredonia, and right down to Dunkirk and the Pennsylvania state line. They would laugh you out of there. Do something. Don't do that again, please. No, please don't do it. Not until you go to work for that other place.
You go back to Canada, you Jew bastard.
Rednecks, militia members, survivalists. When you're ready to start that new country and you need an embassy to impress your followers, come out to Ed's White Trash Trailer Park. Ed has over 2 acres of quality new and used mobile homes. Double wide for those militant groups who expect a long siege by the ATF. plenty of storage space for supplies and illegal weapons. So before you barricade yourself up, come by Ed's White Trash Trailer Park. And remember, if you're married to your sister, you get 25% off. That's Ed's on Highway 9.
All right. By the way, thanks to our good friend Chuck from the Sub-Center over across the street, kitty corner from us. Do you know that Eric, who I met in the airport last night, it goes to show nothing is completely bad or good. Eric, I guess, is from this immediate area, knew all about the diner, Stadium Diner, Chuck's. Nice going there, Eric. See you again one of these days for about a half an hour from a distance. So anyway, here is an interesting thing that somebody faxes. Scout leader's foot amputated after sex in tree. Did you see this? In Orlando. Oh, they do a lot of sex in the trees up in Orlando. Doctors have amputated the left foot of a Boy Scout leader who was found hanging naked upside down from a tree as part of what investigators described as a solo sex act. How do you like that? An hour-long surgery to amputate Clark Anthony Getz's foot above the ankle was successful, a spokesman for Orlando Regional Medical Center said on Friday. Getz, 42, has been hospitalized since Monday after authorities found him dangling from a rope about 12 feet off the ground. Blood flowed to his feet had been cut off for more than 24 hours. The left foot developed an infection that needed to be taken care of before it got worse, said hospital spokesman Joe Brown. When you deprive a part of the body of oxygenated blood for 24 to 26 hours, tissue begins to die. Doctors ran tests on Getz's feet, which were swollen, discolored, and barely had a pulse when he was taken to the hospital. A prosthesis would be considered. Florida Park Service rangers heard Getz yelling on Monday before they found him in a densely wooded area near the Lake Sumter County line. His wife had reported him missing on Sunday after he didn't return from a bicycle trip. His wife! How do you like that? Here's a guy in a tree.
He has a wife, you know.
Getz had tied himself from a tree but had gotten tired and couldn't pull himself up to untie the rope, said Sergeant Nick Polito, a spokesman for the Lake County Sheriff's Office. His situation was captured on video camera that he set up. Oh, let's see that. Oh! He was doing something sexually to himself. I guess that's his thing, Polito said Tuesday. It may have been an autoerotic situation.
Squirt, 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 squirt.
Hmm. 5670560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. So you think it's boring here, huh? How'd you like to be in Orlando in the summertime? Here's Key Largo. Hello.
Hi.
Yes, sir.
That guy's lucky he caught his foot.
Yeah, that's right. Lucky it was only his foot.
Hey, man. Hey, I think I know what the guy's problem was.
Yeah.
I think he probably, between the two meetings, had some sort of a nocturnal emission in his sleep and woke up with the wrong thing in his mouth. And it scared the hell out of him. I mean, that's the only explanation.
Okay. Here's Cutler Ridge. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hi. Neil, here's a situation, a story I think you like. I know a girl in the chat room, and I kind of turned her on to your show. I told her Neil.com, NeilRogers.com, whatever. And she was listening for the first week. She told me it was a hilarious show. She loved it. She was glad I turned her on to it.
For the first week?
For the first week.
Yeah.
The next time I talked to her that week. And about 2 weeks later, I was back online in the chat room, and this girl not only wouldn't talk to me, and she wouldn't talk to me at first. She said, please, I'd rather not talk to you. But I kind of, prompted her. I said, well, what's the problem? What's the deal? I've known this girl for years.
Neil's fault.
That show you turned me on to is totally disgusting. I think she's a religious lady.
All right.
And thank you, Neil. All I can say is a great show. Keep it going.
And you're welcome. Okay.
Not a material.
Saved you big time. Okay, pal. You owe us. Saved him from some nice religious nut. 5670560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. As the beat goes on, here's Boca. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, Neil. Neil, you're giving up on this board members. The school board for Broward County.
What do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, we should keep the pace going, what you did from Friday.
Keep the pace of what? What are you talking about?
Keep the pulse of the country on this.
Yeah.
This is a reflection of
Keep
everybody's
your thumb on,
privacy
is that what you're
act.
saying? Yeah.
This shouldn't. They shouldn't be able to get away from this.
Yeah.
Also, Neil, board members should know that Bob Parks on the board.
Yeah. Okay. This is the same guy that faxed me that. See, I hate to break the news to you, but when you fax me stuff and I don't read it on the air, doesn't mean it's an invitation to call in and repeat it on the air. So you can slander somebody on the radio. Do it on your own show. God. 5670560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. And don't start sending faxes over here about foot fetishes. Joe Costello gets real upset about that. Here's Tamarack. Hello.
Yeah, hi, Neil.
Yes.
Yeah, hi. Listen, my nurse just came, home care nurse came in and was very upset. You slammed the phone down on her. Why? You called her a bitch.
Yeah.
Why?
Why?
Well, you tell me why.
Why? Because she's a bitch.
No. The only person...
Let me say it again, sir. You ask me a question, I'll tell you why.
Yes,
Because she's a bitch.
She's a home care nurse.
I don't care what she is. She called here and wanted me to repeat the whole show for her. And if you say why one more time, I'm going to say, oh, how do you like that?
No, you won't.
Oh. Yes, I did. 5670560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. Why? Here's a lady in Wilton Manor. Hello.
Is this Neil?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, hey, Neil.
I can barely hear you.
Oh, well, I'm just...
There you go.
Okay. The reason I'm calling is because, like, I know exactly what you mean, because that, like, happened to me this morning. I went to a customer's house. I've known these people, like, for 4 years.
Right.
And we have a standing appointment every 2 weeks, and they were just like, what are you doing here? And I'm like, well, you know, it's like 2 weeks have gone by. I'm supposed to be here.
Mm-hmm.
And they just, like, slammed the door in my face.
Really?
Yeah. So I just, like, got in my car, and I'm just, like, driving down the street, and I'm crying, and I'm like, I get...
You mean like no explanation?
No, I get, you know, I think people are just rude around here. I mean, they're just disgusting and they're rude, and they, like, only think of themselves. And
Well, at least I'm not crying yet, you know?
Well,
handle it fairly maturely.
I just kept thinking,
having a nervous breakdown.
Well, I just kept thinking, am I too sensitive or what? But I mean, like the housekeeper was there at the same time. He answered the door. He's like, "Hey, Mary, come on in." And he's like, and I'm like, "Is your wife here?" He's like, "Yeah, she's here." Boom, he slams the door in my face. I'm like, "Okay, see ya."
I think there's a message in there somewhere, don't you?
Well, I got it. I'm not working for him anymore.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh!
I think the message is screw him.
Well, no, I'm not screwing him. She can have him.
Yeah, right.
Thanks. Bye.
Okay, good luck. How do you like that? Yeah, maybe there's just an epidemic of unfriendly, paranoid people out here. That could be it. Well, to them is what I say, and that's what she said. To them, too. How do you like that? For both of you. 5670560. We got 600 open lines here. We got an hour and 22 minutes to go as we continue searching for the answer, searching for the ultimate truth here of the relationships between human beings who are all paranoid and suspicious and psychotic about each other. And like I said, to them. God, what a place.
Your brain. This is your brain on drugs. This is your brain being chopped to bits by a finely honed meat cleaver. This is your brain in a blender. And this is your brain being stirred into a big pot of chili. Brains. Real food for real people.
She won your heart in The Miracle Worker. Despite her handicaps, she left behind a lifetime of achievements. And now, with the discovery of rare audio tapes found in a basement somewhere in New Jersey, Def Jam Records makes available to you Helen Keller Sings the Blues. A series of recordings from the 1950s by Helen Keller herself, wailing out a pound of sound. To order yours, have your credit card ready and call 1-800. Order now and get a bonus disc of duets by Marley Madeline and Johnny Ray.
1244-560 WQAMC. I hate to break the news to Castro. I'm reading these insipid emails that are coming over the fax machine now, and it's sad. It's sad when people have got to go and put their own email on there to defend themselves and to critique the rest of the industry, especially when they're dying on the vine and their numbers are dropping like a rock, and they're trying desperately to get hired over here, and they're critiquing what's going on over here. You know, you can record all your own comedy bits, but the only problem is when you steal other people's material and then you redo it, it's still called ripping off people. How do you like that? Oh! Goofball. Paulie. Hey, how's Paulie doing? Oh, won't see him no more. 5670560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. A lot of calls about that John Henry business, right?
No.
Nobody on this show cares. Which site do you like the best? Come on, let's hear it. Got some new sites? Tell somebody else. I don't want to hear them. See, nobody cares now, but once it gets on a ballot, just like that penny sales tax, then people will care. Then they'll care big time, and they will get back together like they did here a couple of weeks ago, and they will say loudly and enthusiastically and almost unanimously, they will say, no. You know, this glowing editorial here, this blowing editorial by the Sun Sentinel, is there a word in there about education?
No.
About roads?
No.
About all the other tremendous social needs that we have in Broward County?
No.
We don't even have any drainage out there in West Broward, for crying out loud. Every time it rains more than 10 drops, we have another goddamn flood. All the streets are flooded. People are rolling around in their canoes. Can't afford that. Is there a word about that?
No.
No, nothing that has to do with the real quality of life. The Sun Sentinel doesn't care about those things. For whatever reason, all they care about is having us get together to find some very wonderful way to pay 80% of the cost of a $400 million retractable dome baseball stadium for another spoiled rich billionaire who thinks we're going to build him a play toy. And the answer is still no. How do you like that? It's still no. We're talking about crazy people. Here's Miami. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hi, Neil. How you doing?
Great.
I have two unrelated questions for you. The first one is, I want to know how you're going to treat this guy next time you see him.
How I'm going to what?
How are you going to treat the guy?
Well, I won't see him again.
But if you see him?
I won't. I'll make sure of that. I'll start flying another airline.
Okay, the other question is, what do you think I should study, law or clinical psychology?
How about the rocket science?
So you can't give me any advice on that.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm serious.
You're asking me?
Yeah.
Study law, baby. That's where the money is.
They only make $50,000 a year.
Like I said, clinical psychology. That's what JP's mom. She's making $10 million a year.
Who's JP's mom?
Your mama. See, too many questions. Too many questions. That's the end of the conversation. Once you start asking too many questions. Great lunch today from Chuck, by the way, but I'm gagging out because I'm not eating right, because I'm so worn out. By the way, Book O'Brien brought in the TV guide, which I never read, because why the hell would anybody in their right mind read the TV guide? August 7th to the 13th. TV's sexiest stars. You know, every magazine, People Magazine, Us Magazine, TV Guide, every frickin' magazine, it's a joke. And the joke is on you people, the readers, the people who subscribe to this will. When you hear who their 16 sexiest stars on TV are, I guarantee if you're in the middle of lunch, it'll make a quick comeback on you, okay? Here we go. Number 1, David James Elliott on CBS's Jag. Looks more like something that rhymes with Jag, as in fag. That's what he looks like to me, and a burnt-out old washed one, too. Here's Alyssa Milano. Now, Alyssa Milano, there you go. She is pretty hot, okay? You like her? There you go. All you horny guys out there. Oh, look at those big hooters, too. Humongous. And I think they might even be real. You know what I'm talking about? And who cares? Jesse L. Martin, okay? I'd rather touch Ricky Martin with somebody else's finger, not mine, than Jesse L. Martin. Here's a Schwarza bent over in a chair. What the hell show is he on? What is this show on? Ally McBeal? Oh, my God. This guy is sexy. Oh, I'll tell you, on the next page after that is this Merit cigarette ad, okay? And they have a big sumo wrestler on there who weighs 600 pounds. He's sexier than this other guy, than this Schwarzer in a chair. Jesse Martin. Next page, Scott Foley. What show is Scott Foley on? Oh, he's on Felicity? Have you seen Scott Foley? I don't think he can say Felicity, okay? Wouldn't touch him with an elephant's trunk. Here's Gloria Rubin. Gloria Rubin with a hairdo that makes Tommy look good this morning. Take a look at that, Schwarzer, huh? Oh, my God, weak. That'd be a fro. Here's, oh, my God, now we know that we've debunked, we have totally blown the whistle on this list. Rick Schroeder. Not to be confused with Ricky Schroeder, but now he's grown up. He's a real man. That's right, on NYPD Blue. Blue who? Rick Schroeder. Oh, my God. So sexy you want to just get on your hands and knees and vomit and eat earthworms. Tangi Miller. Another Schwarzer with a fro. How do you like that, huh? Ooh, not too good. Melina what is that? Kanakarides? Who I do believe, I think she's the one who used to play on Guiding Lights. She used to play Buzz's Frankie Panky's wife. What the hell was her name? She's on the hit series Providence. Melinda Kanakarides. I think that's her name. Weak. On a scale of 1 to 10, I give her a 7, maybe. Bruno Campos, who plays on NBC's Jesse, on a scale of 1 to 2, he still owes points. That's how sexy Bruno Campos is. And here's the best one of all, if you're not impressed yet. Patrika Darbo. Now, do you know who that is? She's the big mom of daytime drama. She's on the Days of Our Lives, weighs 700 pounds easy. She is one of the sexiest. Here comes lunch. Woo! Meals from months ago are coming back up. Just taking a look at that puss. Taking a look at the picture of this 780-pound cow.
Is the page big enough?
No. That's why they've only got her from the up. Mario Lopez, okay? Mario, there isn't anything alive. Even insects wouldn't touch you, Mario. Mario's on Pacific Blue. Oh. Here's Lara Flynn Boyle, who looks like she weighs about 18 pounds, dripping wet. Weak. I give her about a 7 3/4 just because I'm in a good mood. The Bod Squad. Put these 3 dykes together and you still don't have one real woman. Who the hell is the Bod Squad? What is that? Oh, from Roller Jam. They're jamming it. I can't tell you where because it's against the law. Vincent Young from Beverly Hills 90210. Vincent Young on a scale of 1 to 1.3. Oh, and then they've got some other people that they say are still sexy. Here's Tom Selleck. She's looking pretty good. Farrah Fawcett. Richard Chamberlain, she ain't looking too bad. Angie Dickinson, and look, Canis Mas Macho, Angie Dickinson or David Cassidy. Oh, you people, I'm telling you, good for some laughs. Okay, take a puke at that if you haven't already. 5670560, pound 560 on a mobile one line. Here's a call from downtown Miami.
Oh, hey. Hey, Neil?
Yes, sir.
Sorry about that. Well, I was going to say about your friend who you were trying to give the hockey tickets
My
to.
close personal best friend, yes.
Well, it's a shame that people are so jaded that he would think of you, and if I don't know what he's thinking, but if he thinks of you as like some kind of sugar daddy that's trying to pick up on him and not just some nice guy that's just, because at this day and age, you can't do that. It's the same thing. It's the same kind of thing with, there's an elementary school near my house. I tried to go there and exercise one morning at 7:15 in the morning, and a lady comes over and says, you can't exercise here. Well, the other thing too, but you can't exercise here because there's kids here. And I said, the kids can't even see me.
What does that mean?
You're not allowed on the property when there's kids on the property. I was just
I guess it depends on what you're exercising.
That's true too. But Neil? Oh, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I thought you hung up on me.
Not yet.
Now I forgot what I was going to say.
Okay, have a great day.
I'm Adam Adair.
And don't exercise it too hard. Okay, we got 1,800 open lines. Yeah, this is a very sad thing about America, about this whole deal we got here now. Sexual harassment. Everybody is afraid of touching her. See, the only way that you're allowed to touch anybody else is if you're in a uniform. Then you can touch away. You can do a little grab ass, give a nice big fat pat on the rectum. That's right. Squeezing, hugging, kissing on the cheek. Everybody's high-fiving, low-fiving, hand-slapping, ass-slapping. If you're in a uniform. If it's a sports thing, a real manly thing where there could be no question about your masculinity, then it's okay. Somebody mentioned this last week, but if a school teacher pats a kid on the shoulder and says, nice job, Johnny, oh my God, child molester, pedophile, you're going straight to jail. Unlike those priests who we just reassign when they get caught. You're going straight to the jail. No, nobody can touch each other, like even at work. I can't just walk in the other room right now and give my producer a big hug and a kiss on the lips. I mean, that would be sexual harassment immediately, Even though it would not be that. It would just be a sign of affection and great job well done. That's all it would be.
Oh! It's a 1 to 2 hour.
concerning safety awareness. It's always a good idea to take appropriate precautionary measures, especially when there's a curse on your family. For instance, I have no aspirations of pursuing a high-profile position. I sent $50 to the Dorothy Kilgallen Foundation because somebody put the whammy on my family, and I don't want to die. Right, Uncle Ted?
You are correct, Junior. I am not easily led to water, neither that confounded bridge.
Yes, to take it a step further. As a matter of fact, I have installed a safety net on the side of my bed, and I have in my car special safety bags over my head and under my ass.
That's a good idea, Junior. Then remember to wear a rubber.
I always wear a rubber.
You can never be too careful.
That is correct.
Yes.
And as of late, I have been giving a lot of thought to the Kennedy curse, especially in view of the recent events surrounding us. Yes, it's easily found all around. I'm scared.
I'm scared as
well.
Why, even as we speak, and with every hour that passes more and more, I resemble the author.
You're come to think of it, Uncle Ted.
Yeah, I know.
And you're turning into an old fat woman.
There's no need to remind me, Junior. The point is, we both would be well advised to tread nimbly afoot.
You are correct, Uncle Ted. Don't step on any cracks to break a Rosemary's back.
Always carry a rabbit's foot in your pants.
Yes.
I'm scared.
I'm scared.
I'm scared.
This message paid for by the Dorothy Kilgallen Foundation.
Man, if you don't know who that is, read a goddamn book.
Yeah. Okay, it's a minute after. You notice how Booker Bryan is obsessed with Dorothy Kilgallen, by the way? I just mentioned that in passing. I mean, it's a good bit, but is it? So maybe that's why I had that belching over the top of it. You couldn't hear the beginning. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. The Henry Goldberg Show from Schuler Steak 2 at 2 o'clock today. Hank, who had it right. The Herald, as usual. We're full of crap. And then we got the pregame show at 6 o'clock as Levon returns to South Florida, not to pitch for the Marlins in a Marlin game, to pitch for the Giants against the Marlins in a Marlin game, 7:05 tonight. I mean, that in itself should tell you everything you need to know. Come on out and see Levon. Come out and see those good guys that we got rid of. Here's Miami. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I have an opinion on the arena that they're going to build, or the stadium.
Mm-hmm.
I know a place where they could build it.
The erection, yeah.
Planet Uranus.
Uh-huh.
They could build it there.
Yeah.
And also that guy on the plane. Do you think he smoked wacky weed before he got on the plane? Maybe he got paranoid.
5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's Tamarack. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes.
Neil, I got a comment. You know how we're always saying how miserable the old farts are and how nobody squeezes it more than them? I got to tell you a quick story that happened to me over the weekend.
Nobody squeezes what? The
You know what?
Yeah.
I went into Publix. I needed a certain air conditioner filter. And the size I needed, this one guy took the last 12. Okay, the guy ain't even going to live to use
He took the last 12?
The last 12, I needed a certain size.
Talk about planning ahead.
The guy won't even live to use all
What does he do? Change it every day? He does one a day like vitamins?
I don't know. Maybe he uses them for underwear because
Maybe
they're only
he's stuffing
87
his
cents.
bags.
So I says, could you do me a favor? I says, could you sell me one? I says, I only need one. The guy wanted to have a fight with me. What is it with these people?
How old was he?
He was older than death.
Well, then why should beat the crap out of him?
Could get arrested.
Nah, the hell with that.
The guy doesn't have many shopping days left anyway. Listen, Neil, can I call someone a douchebag?
Go ahead.
Joe, you're a flaming douchebag, and you should only get run over by your truck.
All right.
Oh!
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, it's that Monday, baby. It's Monday, August 9th. It's Be Nice to Everybody Else Day, except for Neil, because he's a nasty old lecher and a fag and a pervert, to which we say, yeah. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. By the way, how's Larry Knight doing lately? Anybody seen him? Huh? How's he doing? That'll teach him not to speak to me. Here's a lady in Miami. Hello?
Neil?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, how are you?
Great.
I had called Hank Goldberg on Friday about this stadium issue.
Yes, ma'am.
And I rarely listen to his show. I listen to you all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him, as I was listening, all these callers are calling in saying, "Oh, I'd like to see the stadium."
Oh, I heard your call. And you said, "Where's the outrage?"
Yeah.
I heard that. I was.
And he called me a bitch, but he's sitting there a couple days saying that we don't need it, we don't need it. But it sounds like he wants it. He's letting everybody, say.
Well, it kills a lot of good time when you let people call in. Well, here's 6 sites. Now, which one do you like? See, I don't understand that either. For the life of me,
What is so wrong?
How can you say we don't want it and we don't want to spend any tax money, and then turn around and say, okay, but where do you really want it? Yeah,
it's like he wanted, and let me tell you something. They screened my call. I called, and the guy says, "What do you want to talk about?"
Yeah.
I said,
and how about when you call this show?
You never screen me.
No.
Never. And I called a few times. But
see, shows where they do heavy screening on phone calls are doomed to failure. I'll tell you that right now.
He wants to know.
I don't want to pick on the humper, but when you start over screening it, it just takes away the edge.
And I told him, I said, "You're screening my call?"
So,
no, I just want to know what you're going to talk about.
Tell him none you.
All right. Anyway, I'm not a bitch. I just do not see any use.
No, you made a great point. I heard the call, and just like the guy who said build it in Washington D.C. Those were the best two calls that I heard.
He needs to figure out what he really wants. Does he want to go for the stadium or?
Well, yeah, but you'll notice that most of the people on this radio station are riding the fence. They're going to start getting real bad jock rash if they don't cut their crap pretty soon. They're riding the fence, and on the one hand, oh yeah, we don't pay more tax money. But what do you think? How about over here? It makes all the sense downtown. It doesn't make any sense downtown in Miami or Fort Lauderdale.
Who are the Marlins anyway?
In addition to which, when you look at this list, how the hell do you get to any of these places?
The other guy says, well, I hope they provide transportation. Hello, we just had a transportation tax that, we said no.
Hey, I'll tell you my favorite, the least favorite, Lauderhill, Sunrise, and State Road 7. Do you have any idea?
Lovely.
Do you have any clue as to how congested it is already in that area?
No, we don't need it.
Unbelievable. Just say no, sweetheart.
No.
I said no, but I'm a bitch for saying no, and he can stick it in his ass.
Okay.
Thanks, bye.
Thanks. I'll pass the message along. Hey, Hank, stick it up your ass, okay?
Oh, my God.
5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Oh, by the way, hi to my friend, the Sun Sentinel lady over there at Nob Hill and I-595. I promised I'd say hi to her today between 1 and 2, and I did. What a nice lady she is. She's out there peddling it at the paper, too, every morning, right on the corner there by 595 and Snob Hill. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's Port St. Lucie. Hello.
Tom Green, Phil Hendry, Neil God.
Well, guess what? It didn't make it on the air, Greg. How do you like that? This is your old buddy. He thinks because George is off this week, he's going to get on the air, and I'm going to leave it on the air. Guess what, Greg?
No.
The answer is no. You're not my buddy. You're an imbecile. You're a maniac. You're a mental defective. You're a sad, tragic, no-life, low-life piece of walking turd with 2 ears. That's what you are, Greg. We don't want to talk to you. We don't want any part of you. We don't want to know from you. We think that you've got cooties, baby. We think you've got every disease that's ever been invented and some that haven't been discovered yet by modern medical science, but soon maybe a plague, an epidemic. So everybody, please stay away from Greg from Boynton Beach and Port St. Lucie and wherever the hell else he's hanging out. And you'll notice the good news is they keep moving him farther and farther north, farther away. Any direction, due east would be good. Make your next move due east, about 50 miles out there. See, what do I tell you? The chronic callers, I've been telling people this for years. That's one of the reasons that this show succeeds. We don't let the show get overtaken by chronic misfits like Greg from Boynton Beach, Port St. Lucie, wherever the hell she's from today. God. That simpering, whining, desperate voice. In fact, you know something? Next time, I'll stick your ass on a plane next to Nelson, and the two of you can sit there and have a good time together. And go get your own goddamn hockey tickets, both of you.
Oh, my God.
You put your left foot in now. You take your left foot out. You do the hokey pokey, then you shake it all about. Such a stupid test that makes you look like you're insane. If you ever catch me doing it, here is my refrain. Put a bullet in my brain. Put your right foot in, doing the hokey pokey.
No.
Take your right foot out, doing the hokey pokey.
No.
Not hit you, do what's that, doing the hokey pokey. Take your whole self out, stop doing the hokey pokey. Stop doing the hokey pokey. Stop doing the hokey pokey.
speaking of the QM sales department, by the way, let's take up an office pool. What will be the date? How many more weeks, how many more months before Todd Dreck has got all of his spots canceled off this show? Oh! Let's hear it. Let's start drawing straws right now and stick them up his rectum. Here's Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Mr. 9 and 9 Sick. I think you issued a challenge last Friday.
Yeah, and I forget what it was about.
Concerning the DNA situation with the Jewish situation.
Oh, yeah, right. Uh-huh.
And I know you mentioned about Boca Brian and the guitar man, but a challenge is a challenge.
Right.
So I just did some analysis, and I just wanted to let you know that the Rebbe Al Sharpton's a Litvak. Would you believe it? He's just like Neil and I. Loves eating Hazarai.
Uh-huh.
And Shvo Griffin's a Shayna Madel. Could you conceive it?
Oi!
Such a living doll in her mikvah shawl. Mendel Tyson's Sephardic, Stevie Wonder, and Spike Lee.
All right.
They have all been davening since Brian Coxahoist first took a pee.
Oh!
OJ became Hasidic. Would you believe it?
No.
Had a bris and loves his tits too. As a matter of fact, DNA claims Schwarz's all Abyssal Yiddish, along with Orthodox conversion by you. Oh! Where's Yuska Jackson, you Town loving Jew? I always accept a challenge.
All right. All right, excellent job.
Thank you, Dale.
And God bless you. Okay, 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Where do you want that stadium? Huh? Let's hear it. I'm sure we're going to be hearing days and days and days of that, hours and hours and hours on this radio station. Which one do you like? What's behind door number 3? What's behind box number 5? Who's buried in Grant's tomb, et cetera, and so on. It's going to be going on and on and on. Just keep it simple, okay?
No.
2-letter word. Just say no. All I can say about that John Henry is...
Boy, does he have a lot of chutzpah.
Here's Hollywood. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how are you?
Pretty good, sir.
I think that he's a lamb or a sheep or whatever you call it in the sheep's clothing. I think he's a corporate raider, and we're not building him a stadium. We weren't going to build Huizinga Stadium. That's the story.
And that's why he sold the team. He knew we weren't going to build a goddamn stadium. And you know something? Whether it's Huizinga or this guy trying to pretend to be a good guy, like you say, trying to pretend to be Mr. Nice Guy, it's not going to fly.
We're not falling for it.
They already had a team. They didn't have to give the whole goddamn team away and start from scratch. And the fact, to me, it's not so much the Levon thing, but the Matt Manti thing. Here's a young kid, throws 100 miles an hour, isn't making all that much money. If you really are serious about building a great franchise, who better to build it on as far as having a stopper like him in a bullpen? How could you ask for anybody better?
Definitely an inside.
And they trade him away and expect them to play. Well, more prospects. It reminds me of the Panthers with Chris Wells that they just signed again. Oh, he's a project, a prospect. People don't want to pay to see prospects. They want to pay to see talent.
He's a corporate raider, and still a deal with him and Wayne. I still say that was a backdoor deal.
I believe you. I believe you. I think Wayne's got his thumb on it.
He's doing everything Wayne did and told him to do.
Right.
Anyway, Neil, just the Mandalay Bay. The Mandalay Bay, it's kind of a great pool scene, but it's a little not. The Bellagio is the place to go. I still think. Do you agree?
I like MGM.
MGM.
Yep.
It's gotten old though.
I like MGM.
I had a great time out there. And Neil, the last comment I have is I work here in Hollywood. I think you do too. And they had another one of these shrines where some kids were killed in a drag accident, and they had people going to it and standing around it and putting balloons there. And my comment is, what about the people they put at risk when they drag race down Sheridan at 120 miles an hour?
Right, exactly.
I don't get it.
Okay.
Thanks.
See ya. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T line. Of course, we're getting reports that a lot of these kids drag racing now, these terrible things that are happening because of that auto racing show that Joe Costello is doing on Saturday morning from 6 to 7 on this station. Get all those kids up there real early on a Saturday morning, get them all hopped up and whipped up. This speed thing, I don't want to start laying the blame at Joe's feet just because they gave him those Dolphin tickets, but I think he understands he's got a big responsibility there. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's what says probably a chronic Julio in Miami. Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, hey, Neil.
Yes.
Yeah, I gotta admit that I looked at the Marlins. I watched the Marlins.
You looked at the Marlins. Look at this. Here's a lady in Plantation. Hello? Lady in Plantation with her radio up.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Plantation Acres I'm calling from.
That's close enough.
Listen, my boyfriend just introduced me to your show recently, and he told me this hilarious stick that you have about the bagpipes.
Yeah.
Is there any chance that you could put that on today?
I'll work on it.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it, and I like your show.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
So long, neighbor.
See ya.
Bye.
One of my neighbors, how do you like that? Should we play it for one of the neighbors?
No.
Come on, don't be such a hard ass. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. We got 200 or 300 open lines here, but for Monday, I'll be honest with you, not doing too bad. I'm getting a little bit more conversation today than I had on a plane last night. I'll say that. I mean, I know the guy's under the weather. He's got pneumonia, and he's sniffling and blowing his nose and whatever else he can get his thing on. But, just not right, sweetheart. Not right. Not good. Not good. I mean, don't pierce me through the heart until there's a good reason. Here's a mobile in Hialeah. Hello.
Hey, Neil, God.
Yes, sir.
Just an observation here. Don't jump on me, but
go ahead.
I noticed you don't have anyone saying Neil God in Spanish.
Neil God.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it would be just great if you heard someone just say Neil, Dios mío.
Yeah. Not bad.
Yeah.
I have to be a little better than that one, but...
Well, yeah, a lot better. My accent's terrible, Neil.
Right.
Come on, give me a break here.
Okay, we'll work on it.
All right, thanks.
Muchas gracias.
Bye.
Okay, let's get in Espanol, then we'll get, let's see, how do you say it in Italiano? Huh? I don't know. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how are you?
Great.
Going to change channels here for you in just a second. I got a question for you about satellite dishes. Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay, I have the big dish. I called you once or twice before about it. We bought the house, say, 2 months ago, and the dish came with the house, and the subscription's supposed to end in December.
It came with what?
It came with the big dish. Dish with an SH. What I'm trying to figure out is, now on our HBO channels and all that, they're putting a big black screen up there that says, call this number to order HBO and all this other stuff. It's supposed to come with the dish. We had it all this time, and now they're putting this thing up. What do I need to do?
Well, what do you mean it's supposed to come with the dish? I don't understand. Do you have a subscription to that?
Yeah, well, the subscription runs out in December, and we've been watching all the HBO channels and so forth for the first 2 months.
Right.
And now they're putting this big black screen up in front of the
but who's your program provider?
Is that what I have to find out, who that is?
Uh-huh.
And how do I find that out? The guy that I bought the house from isn't here anymore.
Beats
Pretty good
me.
question, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you know what I would do, because I think they all, you get satellite TV week at least? You get the TV book?
No.
No?
Well, no, we buy it. We buy it at Borders.
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is pick up any copy of it and call HBO, and they can tell you who you're getting it through if you're not getting it directly from them, and then you'll call them at their 800 number and see what the problem is.
Oh, so I could call the HBO number and they could tell me that.
Right, because if you are paid up and you have a legitimate subscription, they can click it on and you'll get it back like in 5 seconds while you're talking to them. They'll just give you a hit.
Oh,
so
okay,
to
that was
speak.
perfect.
Okay.
One more thing before you go.
Yes, sir.
The wife and I just came back from Jamaica. What a sewer.
Yeah, man.
Never go there. It's the biggest waste of time.
Why did you go there? I mean, if you want good weed, you can come down here in Little Jamaica, but why would you go there?
My wife's Colombian, so she thought it would be a nice change, and it sucked. We got food poisoning. We ate in the grill at all-inclusive resorts, and it sucked.
Yeah, man.
Go. Stay away from there. Don't ever go.
Okay, threatened to take away her visa and her American Express.
Run away the green card.
Okay, see ya. She's from Colombia. Oh, I did mention that one of my trips a few weeks ago. The Colombian, one Colombian team was on there, and they were so ugly. I mean, oh God, how can there be so many ugly? I mean, Colombian people, generally speaking, man, I don't care what you say, the Colombian people are really beautiful people. But not these. They must have jammed all the ugly ones on one plane. They figured I was on there. Well, in fact, they didn't speak to me either. How do you like that? 567, it's becoming an epidemic thing. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T line. Here's a call from Atlanta.
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
Here's a call from Atlanta where they're all killing each other. Yes, sir.
That's right. Remember, I was the one that called about a month ago and said that I wanted to move to the moon and get out of the hell Miami?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm taking a 2-week road trip out of Miami. I'm getting the hell out of here, Neil.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going out with my family and just calling.
I wouldn't linger. I wouldn't stay in Atlanta too long, pal. Maybe a real short road trip.
I know that. I know that. I just want to say,
in fact, you know something? I think that they may be following you up the Hershey Highway. All those gun crazy bad. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I was wondering if I could get a quick request. Can you say Roy and then go like a 5-second pause and say he's an asshole?
No, but have a great time. Okay, good luck to you, pal.
Roy.
He's an asshole. Only a 1-second pause. Okay, that's all time allows. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. We're rolling along singing a song. God, I think I'm going to beat this cold, you know. There's nothing worse than when you wake up in the morning, you get that scratchy throat, and then you kind of take some aspirin, some Sudafed, whatever you like to take, and for a day, 2 days, 3 days, you fight it off, and you pray that it just doesn't break, you know. No, so far, I can breathe. Don't have like a real raw sore throat. The prognosis is good for tomorrow, I'll tell you that right now. How do you like that?
Oh!
Although I might just go down and hop on a plane tonight, see if I can find somebody else not to talk to. Guess what? You're not getting on the air either, asshole. Andy from Hollywood, is he getting on the air? No, he's not getting on the air either, okay? All the chronics, all the no-lives, okay? It's back. Let's take up a collection bag so we can buy Andy from Hollywood a colostomy bag. Yeah, he's a young guy, but I think it needs to be stuck in his puss. That's where to stick the tube, right in his puss. What did Duff want, by the way? Wants to make sure everything's going okay in here? Huh? You come in?
Something about Boca Brian stuff.
Come in, give you a little pat on the back? 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line, 125 a QM. How do you like that? We did not hear from what's his name, from Andy from Hollywood. Oh! We didn't hear from, what's his name, from Port St. Lucie, Greg. Oh! They thought we did, but we didn't. See, I'm getting that. Maybe it was that plane trip thing. I'm getting it down to a science. You know, people you don't want to say anything to, you just don't talk to them. Good thinking.
Please, enough talking.
WQAM sales department?
Yes, I'm interested in buying some time on your radio station. How much is it for a spot?
I don't know. I seem to remember it was around $100 above.
Yeah.
Buying a spot.
Yeah.
Isn't that around $100?
No, not $100. Lower.
Around $100?
No, lower.
Around $100?
No, lower. Lower.
Around $100.
At 560 WQAM, we're always ready to service your accounts.
$100.
God, how'd they get Ray Perry on the line? That was incredible. 130. See, one thing about this joint is that nobody has any respect for their leaders. You know, so like we have 55 sales managers, but no matter what they say, all the salespeople go, yeah, sure, whatever you say. And then they just do whatever the hell. So here's Mike in Miami who's become a real chronic faxer. I mean, really, really chronic, but I understand he probably don't have time to call. Or maybe he's got a real high, squeaky, feminine voice, something like that. Now, this goes back to my conversation about my former very short-term friend Nelson from the Toronto-Miami trips. It says, what may have happened is that the initial conversation went well, at which point you informed him of your occupation. Well, guess what, Mike? See, right off the bat, you're wrong, because he's the one that told me that he knew me from the TV show. He knew who I was, okay? That's the worst part, and he still initiated the conversation, so I had reason to assume that he wasn't psychotic, afraid I was going to squeeze his, etc., which I'm not. He probably listened to the show during the following weeks, perhaps on the internet, and discovered that you were gay. He is obviously homophobic, which explains his indifferent behavior during your re-encounter. I agree with the previous caller that the aggressiveness and assertiveness with which you speak does not resemble the stereotypical demeanor that many have established for homosexuals. Otherwise, he may have disagreed with something you said on the radio, but that should have sparked further conversation and discussion. Yes. Regarding the stadium issue, I've always felt that this is not a baseball town or hockey or basketball for that matter. This is a football frenzy town. It's funny how South Florida was stripped of hosting baseball's All-Star game, but was awarded the Super Bowl after the original site, San Francisco, could not make necessary renovations to its stadium. Have a great day.
You'll stop it.
Okay, I'll stop while I'm ahead. You do that so well, you know.
Thank you.
Anyway, hi to the Sunsetting lady again at 595 in Stop Hill. I already said that, but she's so nice, you know. You know who else I should say hi to more often? I hope she's working today. Who always, see here, this is exactly the contrary. Let's look on the bright side. The contrary to some sourpuss who thinks that I'm after his body or chasing him or trying to give away too much free stuff and it's suspicious and I'm stalking. I don't care. But here's my good friend Sylvia that works on the Turnpike Toll Plaza. You know Sylvia? Do you ever go through the toll booth there, the red-haired Cuban lady? You know Sylvia? She is my favorite. If I were a heterosexual of any age, I would just drive through there in my Corvette, whisk her out of that booth, and just head on down to Hershey Highway. You'd never see her again. I love you, Sylvia. She's my favorite. What? What are you smiling? You know her?
I've seen her.
Well, you don't seem very excited about her. She's great. She's a sweetheart. Every time, now she's not working every day in there, but when I'm going home and she happens to be working that day and always gives me a big hello and have a nice day and hey Sylvia, how you doing? And it makes me feel a little bit better. Why can't we make people feel better about each other instead of paranoid and psychotic and delusional and hateful and whatever else most people are? Maybe then not so many people will be blowing each other's brains out. God. Here's a mobile in Tavernier of all places. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Phil. How you doing?
All right.
I just want to say I found the keys right here, and I'm saying just say no, first of all.
Just say
no.
That's right. Keep that in. Okay, whatever you say, sir. He said it's bullcrap up here, but they have a habit. They keep saying a lot. And then, of course, John Henry called in. You missed his call this morning. He said,
I must be crazy. I must be nuts.
Yeah, and we said, hey, for once you said something that makes sense, sweetheart. Here's St. Petersburg. Hello.
Hello, Doctor.
Yes?
Neil, a warning to the people of South Florida. You remember probably about 4 years ago, we got a stadium built up here. Now the Glazers, who is very similar to what you got with the big H down there, the Glazers are going to generously donate the stadium that was built here in Tampa back to the county because there's a $30 million tax bill owed on it now.
And the taxpayers are going to have to pay to cover it.
So they're going to be nice guys and give it back.
All right. Great.
Have a good one, Neil.
Thanks for the good news.
Enjoy your show, man.
Thank you.
Love you.
And by the way, nice that Ice Palace they got down there in Tampa. They're really going to do well there, huh? Aren't they, huh?
No.
Yeah. They built that. It's a beautiful place, I hear. That's the third different place they played already. They finally got it right. The only problem is they don't have a team. That's the only little problem there. It's the chigger in the woodpile. Kind of like the Panthers. We got a nice arena. We got Pavel Bure. We got Ray Whitney. We got Radek Dvorak, Mark Parrish. Anybody else?
No.
Oh, and guess who I saw, speaking of plane trips, guess who I saw coming off the plane on Friday night, sitting there at Miami International all alone, just waiting to get on a goddamn plane, not really all that excited whether Nelson was there or not, which he wasn't. Guess who got off the plane on the incoming? Billy Lindsay. Oh! How do you like that? Good guy? Did I say hello?
No.
No, I was just sitting there waiting. I don't want to, intrude. I don't want to bother this guy. He didn't see me. He wouldn't know me from Mushy Pupik anyway. Looking pretty good, Billy. Not like Ray Whitney, but you look okay to me. See, that's why I didn't say hello. Faggot. That's right. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, buddy?
Okay.
My name's Greg.
Can barely hear you, sir. Barely hear because our phone system today is really, you have to speak up.
Any better now?
There you go.
Okay, partner. First time caller. Enjoy your show.
Great.
It's a TV show, too, anyway, but there's so much of those nuts over there whining. But anyway.
They killed it.
Neil, I just want to discuss with your son for a minute. First of all, I am black, and I got a big-time problem with this thing with the state trooper's kid who killed his girl the other day.
The state troopers did what?
The state trooper's kid who killed his little 6-year-old girl.
Oh, the kid, yeah.
Yeah, you know, we got all
the 12-year-old kid that weighed like 600 pounds or whatever,
right? Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, this is my
Give her a little
problem.
bear hug and she's dead?
Yeah, now, this is my problem. Keep in mind, I'm black, okay? Neil, you can't tell me had this been your kid or my kid, or anybody, common person or walk of life, they would have had Channel 7, WSN, the World Scum Vision News Network, as I call them, at our house with a microphone. The truck set out for remote all night long. They would have had everybody there to try to scrutinize and everything. And the thing I don't like about it is just because she's a state trooper and she's yet to show her face on the TV to say, hey, I apologize, I'm sorry, I have not seen one thing about her on there. And, you know, it just bothers me. It's like every time something goes down, one of these cops here in South Florida, it's like they're put on a pedestal, they're untouchable, it's like they just, you know, it's like they exalt them or something. You know?
Yeah, well, somebody said before that the thing with the prostitution ring, that there's a major internal investigation going on. But you know something? I'm holding my breath and waiting to get that to see it blow.
Neil, I hate to say it, but you'll probably turn as dark as I am before that happens.
Right.
Have a good one, my brother.
I'm working on it.
Bye-bye.
See ya. I'm working on it, baby. I got that sun lamp on me right now. And I'm still a whiter shade of pale. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. God, how did I do this today? You know, we're almost done. How did I do this? Not that I want to pat myself on the back, being the great guy that I am, and being as generous and decent as I am, in spite of the fact that people are running and screaming, there he is! In spite of that. No sleep. In fact, you know something? Maybe the sleep that I did get with that stretch of I-75 between the very beginning there on Miami Gardens Drive and Sunrise Boulevard, maybe I did take a nice nap there, huh? Maybe it was on autopilot. Could be.
alien probes in their ass. TV don't get better. The chef just might get laid tonight. Cheesy proofs abound. All right. You're gonna see Stan blow up his gut if Wendy's around. There's Stan, Courtland, Kyle, and a talking turd. And at least once a week you hear you turd. Guilty! You bastard! Oh, the so weird, but the wonderful. And Candy's face you've never seen. He gets hit in the head, and then he's dead. The rats snore at him, and then they eat his no.
Hey, killed Kitty! You bastard! What's there? You want to know what I think? What? He's doing something to his ass. He's not kicking his ass, but he's definitely doing something to his ass.
Rectum.
This dog is a gay homosexual.
143 at 560 WQM. Happy Monday to you. We got the Hank Goldberg show coming up soon. Not soon enough, but coming up soon. Hey, so which site do you guys like, huh? Site number one? Here's Doral. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon to you. Buon pomeriggio.
Oh.
Boy, that was bad.
It was? It sounded really good.
No, very bad. I'm weak. Like Al Martino. I need to be slapped in the side of the face.
I also want to talk about this stadium.
Yes. Which site do you like, pal? How about number 7 is my favorite.
Which site? Yeah. Did you see that he wants to build one place in Bicentennial Park?
Yeah.
Another place in Miami River?
Mm-hmm.
Miami River. Miami River. That's good.
Right in the middle of the Miami River.
Yeah. You know, it's like, has anybody even attempted to ask him, you know, have you seen the games? No one goes to the games. You know, do you really think this new stadium, who's it going to bring? You know, what people, because, you know, they already know that the Cuban people here in Miami don't go to the games anymore.
They couldn't care less. They don't give a flying crap less.
Yeah, that's right.
In addition to which, after the voters just turned down the penny sales tax in Dade County, does he really believe, no matter how stupid he is, does he really think in his wildest dreams that the voters of Dade are going to approve any kind of tax to build him a goddamn stadium?
I must be crazy. I must be nuts.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. And what I've noticed is that now people here in Miami and Broward, let's say Broward County and Miami, have gotten a little smarter when it comes to this stuff. You know, people trying to buy us into, you know, this new arena.
Because they've been burned so many times and lied to so many times that they're finally learned there's a great word that's real easy.
Exactly. And
real easy.
Like I told you before, I used to never vote.
Yeah.
But now I do because I'm tired of this. I'm tired of this, and I get my friends to vote and, you know, look at the numbers, you know, and the voting just for this penny tax. Another thing, different issue. The teams that were drag racing. Did you see the newspaper and the news and what the car looked like and everything?
Yeah.
They deserved it. If they're going to be racing like that in the streets, they deserve it. Just like these kids that have these loud mufflers. I don't know if you notice every time they're running around and then the car makes a lot of noise from the muffler. Because my dad takes the bus everywhere he goes. And I cringe every time I hear that there was an accident and it took like people waiting on the bus and killed a couple of people. I cringe at that. So if you're going to race and you die, you deserve it.
There you go.
Thank you, Neil.
And have a great day.
You too, sir.
Well, that's pretty brutal, but you know something may have had a point. Oh! John Henry warned that a privately built stadium would be smaller and leave no extra money in his pocket to improve the team by increasing its payroll. He'll build a stadium, but what he's saying is he won't have money for a team. We'll have an empty stadium. It'll look real good. Maybe we'll even reduce the prices on the refreshments because we won't have to pay all those overpaid ball players, but there'll be no team in there. What do you think, huh? Oh! Let's go for it. I say put up or shut up. Go ahead and build a stadium, okay? We like it. As long as it's with your money, we don't care if it's too small. We don't give a crap. Downscale. Don't be. See, this guy, they got a $195 million stadium in Texas. They got a $295 stadium in Bud Selig's place in Milwaukee for the Brewers. But we want to have a $400 million. Oh! And by the way, speaking of retractable roof, up there in Toronto where they got that Sky Dome, for the last year now they're having a big song and a dance about how much money they're losing and who's going to have to buy that thing and are they going to continue to be able to maintain it and will they keep playing there? And that thing's only a few years old, relatively speaking. It's a beautiful, it's palatial. But we don't know and okay. And guess what? Since they got spoiled with those 2 World Series wins, they're not exactly packing them in. Even though they're in that a wild card race with the Red Sox, they're still not packing them in anywhere near like what they were those years. So you can keep trying to rape the public as much as you want and squeeze in more blood out of a rock, and they finally, no matter where it is, they finally say, no. And who the hell was it? Oh, it was Defoe. Well, you know, Defoe, he's always riding that fence. But he's got chap sores all over his body, that guy. Riding the fence big time this morning about, well, you know, people really got turned out in the beginning and they got all wound up in the excitement of the championship. They didn't get wound up in the excitement of a championship season until the goddamn world gets serious, baby, because even in the playoff games they couldn't sell them out that year. This team drew 3 million people the first year because of the novelty of it, and after that the attendance kept going down and down because it's not a frickin' baseball town. And stop trying to peddle goddamn Halavada to the Eskimos. They don't like it. Here's Lantana. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Do you feel that Lawrence Phillips has a chance to rush for 1,000 yards this season?
Oh, yeah. I think he'll be just running from the police.
I think it's a great comeback for him.
Yeah, okay, good. I'm happy for it. Call up Hank and talk about stupid crap like that, okay? On one of the sports shows. In fact, don't call up Hank. Call up Eddie Kaplan and bet on it with him, all right? It's a great comeback. 56705. It's morons like you, sir, that want a stadium on every street corner because you don't have a brain. You don't have one little even teeny tiny particle of a brain, and you're taking up space and breathing oxygen that some useful being, even a goddamn dog, could be taking up. And you're wasting it. Did he say wasted? Is that what he said?
Yeah, man.
Oh. Here's a lady in Kendall. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, ma'am.
How are you?
Great.
I'm a lady in Kendall who listens every day.
Great. Good for you.
I have a solution for John Henry.
Uh-huh.
I think that the best thing he should do, keep the Marlins right there in Pee-Pee Park, and they should install retractable roll shutters for the 6,000 or so loyal fans that go in the 140-degree heat.
Or they could just give out parasols.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
And then
everybody who comes in gets a free parasol. Sounds good to me.
And the players, they can play right under canopies.
The canopy, right.
There you go.
Uh-huh.
And, Neil, before I go, I have one request. Dedicated to John Henry.
Okay.
Can you play that Charlton Heston saying, son of a...
Charlton Heston saying, you son of a bitch. That one?
That's right.
Okay. And
Love and you have a great day. Bye.
Okay, 11 before 2 at 560 WQAM on what's turned out to be a fairly reasonable day. These people have been fairly sociable here today, unlike some people at the airport who look at you like you got leprosy and palsy. It was, I guess it was just even at my advanced age, there are always new experiences that you encounter in life. And that's, as far as rejection is concerned, I'm used to rejection, like sometimes 10 times in a day, but that's another story for another, that don't bother me. But don't give me a big song and a dance and say, oh, geez, God, take a look at you. Yeah, you got a point about that.